Hello. Hello. That's better. Like DSP right there. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. It's Hump Day. It's July 3rd. It's America Month. And we have America Day tomorrow. So I hope everybody around the world celebrates the greatest country in the world tomorrow. You should. Little fireworks, little explosions. That's how we do it over here. Hang out in mall parking lots and look at fireworks. Yes, we are the British redheaded stepchild. I'm proud to be it, by the way. What I'm not proud of is having to sit through the Acolyte again.
Oh. Yeah. But it's a happy America Day Eve.
It is.
America Day Eve.
It is. And it's
So
Hump Day.
Hump Day. I broke this out, and this shirt was sold at the Lucasfilm Company store at Skywalker Ranch.
They don't have that anymore. There's a different flag on it.
Pretty sure they don't anymore. But how do Canadians feel about Canadians are literally the little brother that follows America everywhere and tries to copy us.
Well, we had our day first, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You've got like your version of Thanksgiving, whatever that is. You've got your version of 4th of July, whatever that is.
Canada Day. Okay, got it.
Canada Day. All right. That's not bad. You do have a pretty good national anthem, I got to say.
Oh, thank you.
It's it's good. I like it when
Got to change the lyrics a little bit.
Right.
Nowadays.
They changed it. So,
yeah, you have to Trudeauify it.
oh God, we should made it. But tell me how I should celebrate 4th of July.
Barbecue. So you
Okay.
barbecue some hot dogs, some hamburgers, light up some fireworks. You watch Independence Day.
Ooh,
Or
I like Independence
and the
Day.
Patriot. And what other movies should you watch on the 4th of July?
Those are pretty good. Right
I don't
there.
know. Those seem pretty patriotic to me.
That's just what off the top of my head.
Chat, give me some suggestions.
Are there any Canadian patriotism movies? Like what would be
Hey, Strange Brew. Bob and Doug McKenzie's Strange Brew.
Yeah. Maybe the closest? Oh my God.
I've never heard of it.
What?
Wow. Second City.
What?
Canadian, and Gary and I know it.
Oh
and
my
you don't.
God, my head hurts now.
I'm so
Ever
sorry.
watch Second City?
I did
TV,
watch Sex in the
SCTV?
City. Yeah.
SCTV. You know what that is?
I
So
know
many
SCTV.
great comedians came from that show.
You ever heard of John Candy?
No.
Levy,
I was told not to take candy from random
Joe
strangers.
Flaherty. Come on.
No. God.
My
I don't
God.
like this test. This test.
X-Ray Girl was imprisoned until she was 21 by her parents.
You go to school, get good job, end up on YouTube, disappointed.
Oh,
You
I
should ask
hope we
Alan.
disappoint them every day.
I
You
grew
can
up
just
in-
say to your mom and dad, at least I'm not in porn. All right.
well,
That's
there
true.
you go. Or
That's
doing
true.
OnlyFans like characters from the Acolyte. So
Well,
I
Oh my God.
I grew up outside of Detroit, in Michigan, and I watched the CBC. I watched Canadian programming as a kid. So, did you ever watch Mr. Dress Up? Casey and Finnegan, Deedle Door, the
No.
Friendly Giant, Rocket Robin Hood,
No.
the stop motion animated Pinocchio show, and Wizard of Oz. No, none of those.
no.
Ring
Maybe
a bell.
Wizard of Oz.
She wasn't allowed to watch TV, obviously. So
Right.
I had very limited TV as well.
that's obvious. That's all right.
Yeah.
It
And,
turned out okay for you. I mean, you could always go back on
It
your real
worked.
job. But yeah, SCTV, kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
Kind of a big
huge.
deal. All right. Hi, Chris. How's it going?
Hey Gary, it's going great. I watched the episode last night.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, I was bored, it seemed like things were going to happen, but every time they don't know how to do a cliffhanger or like, I gotta watch the next episode.
Well, you would have to know how to write a show and write characters and build suspense and to get to a cliffhanger. We'd actually have to care.
I don't think they write them as episodes. It seems like they write the whole thing and then decide where to put the breaks.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be 6 episodes. No, let's make it 8. Like, really, there doesn't seem to be a clear, definitive ending. They're just cut off the show in the middle of a conversation. That's not a cliffhanger.
No. And we'll get into it where they cut the show off.
Which is stupid.
Because I laughed. I was just like, they're going to cut it off right here. I kept on looking at the time. And a little longer episode. I think it was actually 30 minutes. I think this one actually hit 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's wow.
It's the second filler episode in an 8-episode series that cost $180 million. This last episode averages out at $22 million. For them to run around a repurpose set again.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, write what you know. We're going to get into that. Write what you know. Little on the nose for Disney, we're just going to say, this episode. Really effing boring. Nothing made sense, as usual. They filled in some blanks from last episode, but that's typical mystery box. But you have somebody writing who doesn't even know, like, mystery box. It's bad. Hi, X-Ray Girl.
Hi. I didn't like this episode, as most episodes, all episodes, actually, I should say all episodes. Why was there sexual tension?
By the way, I thought you would love it.
No.
It was suggested male nudity. By the way, your dad is lurking on Twitter.
Hi, Dad.
Universalist. He posted a photo for you.
Oh, no. No. We didn't need to see him half naked. That was unnecessary. And
right. And you saw her eyes darted down for a second.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
She took a look at his little lightsaber.
She wanted that lightsaber.
For one, that water was cold. Okay, give him a break.
Yeah.
He is Asian. Okay, so give him a break.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's hilarious because it's like, in contrast, we have House of the Dragon, which literally showed peen. And we go to this, and it's just like
dicks everywhere. As you said before the show started, we had some D on D+.
Yep.
Nice.
But there was a lot more than just a Wang hanging out in House of the Dragon. There was a little bit more.
A lot more than
insertion.
We actually got a first for Game of Thrones, which is kind of hard to say. At this point. But man, we had a first and I was like, oh shit, what the?
Look, I don't mind a good shirtless scene, but the 2 shirtless scenes we've seen in here just don't do it for me.
The other thing that was strange was when he was carrying around his bag, it just looked like he was a personal trainer going to the gym.
It looked like he was going to go do some yoga.
It was so dumb. Like, what I've always loved about Star Wars is everything, down to every detail, is otherworldly. You're not thinking of Earth, right? It's familiar. Okay, that's a tool, a hydro spanner, whatever it is. But him looking like that was like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym. I'll be back. I'll be at Equinox for an hour, and then I'll be back. What? It just looked dumb. Like, it's not that attention to detail we associate with good sci-fi, where it seems just different,
What we have established is the Jedi are retarded, Master Soul especially, and they're really trying to make him look like a bad guy, and like he maybe he should be at this point. I don't care. The big mystery, because they just set up little mysteries. For one, like, I use air quotes because I don't really care. There's a scar on Smilo Ren's back, and it doesn't look like a straight lightsaber scar. So is it from a whip? There's going to be another Sith Dark Force user, whatever, and it's either going to be one of the moms or Master Nepo. Probably not, because Master Nepo was in the High Republic, a comic book, which I'm sure everybody read in the chat, right? High Republic books, comic books. They were just flying off the shelves. Oh no, they weren't. She was a Mary Sue in those, by all accounts. I didn't read them, and nobody did, by the way. So that's what they're setting up, but like nothing happened. We just picked up where the last episode left off. And hey,
I can't believe I'm doing a video.
Sorry about that.
All right, Abraham. Time to take down the Death Star.
I can close tabs. Boomer. Yeah, at least we're gonna get the bodies buried. At least they're gonna go bury the bodies. We did get some info on the helmet. It's sensory deprivation. That's what they said, right, Chris? You're muted now.
You're muted.
I mean, yes. Oh my God, Gary. Sorry.
So sensory deprivation, except like when you can see and hear. Did I hear that right? It was that's it. So, but then it masks your feelings. So, okay, that's fine. It's still a Magneto helmet. And it's supposed to be the kind of the same purpose of what the helmets use as the younglings trained with. And Luke, in the original trilogy, it was just a helmet where you couldn't see, So they explain that a little bit, but we have May pretending to be Osha with Soul. Now, here's the problem I had. Did Soul know it was May the whole time, or did Basil tell Soul about May? Because he could figure it out immediately. They even tried a little funny scene where he attacks her, and she doesn't kill Basil, but she does she pulls a knife on Soul when his back turned. So if Soul knew it was May the whole time, why would he turn his back? Oh, because he knew she wouldn't kill him? Well, every time something was about to happen, Chris, they interrupted it with like, oh, the ship shut down, or we got a message, or we can't get our message out. So Soul does try to contact, the High Council, the Jedi High Council. And of course, the message is being jammed. So I thought, hey, maybe that's May jamming the message. No, it was just being jammed. Now, we might find out next episode or the final episode, not sure. And then the ship powers down. But every time there's going to be some revelation, something happens, they get interrupted and it moves on. It's full on, it's Reylo fanfic soap opera at this point. It's indefensible. It's some of the worst shit I've ever seen. And that's right up there with like Watchmen and what I saw of Willow, and it's Blood Origin. It's Blood Origin bad, but this is Star Wars, right? So every time like something, Soul spends the whole episode, Chris, going, I am so sorry. So sorry. I am going to tell you everything. And then it gets interrupted like throughout the episode. And this is where they end it. He locks up May because he figures out who she is at some point. And if it was Basil telling him, then he didn't know. How the fuck could he not know? You sense feelings as a Jedi. You would sense the feelings. So you could argue, well, he was very emotional. He would still sense feelings. He's a Jedi master. So he turns his back on her a bunch of times, and then eventually he figures it out and stuns her, locks her up to tell her the truth. And he's all, I am going to tell you everything. And then it cuts away. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. It's like, what the? Oh, it was hilarious. I laughed. Now, they did do one more scene, but we'll get to that. We'll kind of go through a little bit in order. There's really nothing to this. It's nothing. It's still memeable, though. You still manage to find something to meme in this show. Chris, we had our first grooming scene in Star Wars, our first Me Too scene in Star Wars.
Star Wars had a Me Too moment with the stranger or the Equinox personal trainer getting out of the salt bath fully naked, where her eyes dart down to his nether regions for but a brief moment, and there's an uncomfortableness, like, can I get my clothes on? Like, when is that ever? That's not. It just feels not Star Wars. It just feels like that wasn't necessary.
Well,
like, to propel the story, just any of it. Like,
it's
what?
like a romance novel.
It's
like, yeah,
fanfic.
like
so it opens up with
yes.
Osha waking up in his place, and like there's another set of clothes there. They keep showing these little elephant bird things, right? And they show an island, and the first thing I thought of was, oh, that is not Luke's island from Last Jedi. I don't think it could be, but like it looked like it for a second. I think that one was more remote and not near other land, but that's the first thing I thought of. And then she follows him out, right outside, and then he leaves his lightsaber on the beach, and she picks it up. And you want to talk about the sexual undertones or overtones started right there. He's like, it's been a while since you held one. It's like she found her vibrator. This was the last time you used one of those.
Yeah, Freud would have a field day with that. She was holding his dick. She was holding his dick.
That's the first thing I thought of, dude. Here.
It wasn't subtle at all.
Here's my my tweet, X-Ray Girl, if you want to put that up. Because this has the scene. And I wrote last night, like, write what you know.
Right. Yes, I saw your tweet.
Oh,
it was great.
But is your sound on?
If you're not gonna join me, I'd like to put my clothes back on.
And of course he's all buff and
yeah. I mean, good for him, but
I'm wondering if it's honorable to kill me like this.
Look at that. Look down. She looks down right at the end. Go right to the end. She is looking. Now the question is, what's she thinking? She straight up looks down. This is Disney Star Wars. This is Disney Star Wars.
yeah.
Yep.
You could just run it in real time, but yeah, she looks down right at the end. And he just stands there for a while. And we absolutely know there was a story of an actress who went up to Harvey's suite, and he answered the door like with a robe on, but it was completely open.
Yes.
And started chatting away. So, and that's probably one of many stories. So write what you know. Write what you know. And that's the only thing that happened in the show. We have, so he follows her out there, and she has like an opportunity to kill him, and she doesn't because he starts seducing her to the dark side. Starts explaining that, you've always had the power in you, right? The Jedi have told you that if you don't practice the Force, you lose it. No, that's not true. The power's always there. The power is always there. And we have basically a different point of view on how we use the Force. And he was trying to convince, remember he was like, why did they get rid of you? And she's like, well, I left. And she's all, yeah, and he's all, you left because they rejected you. They felt the pain and the darkness. The same thing in me. So he admitted also that he's a former Jedi, but from long ago. He makes a point to say it's a long time ago. So
like 3 years ago, he's so young.
He's so young. So he either he's a humanoid who lives hundreds of years, or not really sure.
The thing that bothers me is what was always great about the Force. It was unexplained. It was a mystery. It was very vaguely described, so you could actually interpret it how you wanted. You could sort of mask any other religion on it, and it was this vague, very almost, that speech that Alec Guinness gives in the first Star Wars. That's all you need. That's all you need. Now the Force is being so over-explained, over-analyzed. It's like deciding between lightning cable and USB, or it's like getting so minutia into, well, the Force works this way and that. I don't want more explanations of what it is. The vague thing that Alec Guinness said in the very first Star Wars was all we needed. Any sort of over explanation of the mystery makes it not interesting. And that's what's happened in the show. The whole thread thing, and just, now I'm more confused, and the midi-chlorians didn't help either.
No.
So, yeah.
We don't want to make the prequel fans mad because they still look like Shakespeare to this, but midi-chlorians are stupid.
True, but the prequels were better than this.
Yes.
Whatever you think.
I will accept them begrudgingly compared to this. Yeah. Okay.
Ryan's not here to defend them.
Ryan can defend them all day long. But that's fine. Put this tweet up. You got to see this. So Matthew Kadish retweeted. I couldn't put Eric Voss's tweet up just for principle. So I'll have somebody retweeted him from New Rock Stars. But this is pretty funny. Make sure you crank the volume on this one. Here, make sure. Let me make sure I crank the volume on this one.
Good to go.
Good to go. So this is the audio description. This is Disney Plus's audio description of this scene.
As he begins to untie a belted knot from around his waist, she straightens up for a better look. He begins to undress, revealing a prominent scar on his well-toned back.
Oh, no.
Dropping his billowy-legged hakama pants, he steps forward with the sunlight accentuating his top muscles. He wades barefoot into the pool.
Oh,
wait. Did you see what Drunk 3PO made his title on his video?
No.
Oh, said, sun's out, buns out.
Sun's out, buns out.
Oh,
great.
my God.
Great.
I've got a title for my video, but I ain't saying it yet. You'll just have to see it.
Save it.
Oh, did you like it, X-Ray Girl? I tested it on my kid. If he laughed, then I'm like, all right, you got it.
Loved it. I loved it.
I just want to warn everybody. It's. And then after my kid laughed, he goes, "You're still in middle school, Dad." I'm like, "Yep."
Yeah. You have to access that 13-year-old in your brain. What makes you laugh?
We called it junior high, son. We didn't call it middle school. Okay.
Now, there are only 2 episodes left. How are they going to land this plane?
Well,
there'll be some big reveal, and it'll be really disappointing. That's my prediction.
I have to go back and watch a lot of Disney Star Wars with the audio description. That was fucking funny. Glistening off his muscles. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, this really is what Star Wars is. You don't want to call it Harlequin romance because that would be disrespecting Harlequin romance. But I think there is an article. I got to double check if it's true, Lady Greymaster, if you're out there. Leslie Headland did talk about getting Reylo fiction and being somewhat inspired. She's inspired by absolutely everything except for Star Wars for this fucking show. But yes, the Reylos kind of got what they wanted. No, they didn't, because they really wanted Rey and Kylo to bang. When you think about that, both of those characters are derived from the Solo twins.
Yeah.
God dang it. Yeah, it's horrible. But where are they going to go, Chris? You're asking. So this entire episode was May pretending to be Osha, Soul not figuring it out until later. And I know there's a lot of people out there saying he knew the whole time. Again, if you know the whole time, fine. There's a real easy way to give us a tell without really giving us a tell. Never turn your back on your enemy. in an enclosed place when they have weapons, when they have the fucking force. Don't turn your back on your enemy. And that's discounting Master Soul just losing his ability to sense feelings and not be able to decipher between his former Padawan and somebody he hasn't seen for 16 years that happened to have the same haircut, conveniently, by the way. Not noticing the giant spiral on her forehead. So maybe like next episode, you go, I knew it was you the whole time. But it still doesn't make it. He's still stupid. So we have May pretending to be Osha. We have Osha now with Smilo Ren. He is going to try to groom her to be his pupil. And there's a conversation between Osha and Smilo where she talks about the scar on his back. And she said, did your Jedi master give that to you? And he doesn't answer. He gives the soap opera, dun, 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 you know.
Right.
And then it cuts away. So what was your interpretation of that? I think it's a master that maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're whip marks. So only one person uses a whip. So that's pretty easy. And they made a point it was a pointless scene where, what's her name? Master Nepo pulls out the whip saber and uses it to kill one of those giant moths. It was really stupid, but that's it. You know, I mean, so she was a dark lord that trained him, or maybe she was his master before he left.
Maybe. Yeah. But like, where is this going? It's obvious. Like everybody called this, by the way, and everybody was right. We get the flashback. We get another flashback episode next episode. And then everything wraps up just like true mystery box fashion. So we're going to get Soul's side of the story. And then at some point, the twins are going to team up probably and take on Smilo, or maybe turn Smilo good again and take on one of the mothers, or it's Master Nepo. And I'm trying to pretend I care, folks. I'm doing my best, okay? But it will be fucking horrible.
Well, one thing, I mean, good on the Jedi for keeping Soul employed after so many screw ups. I mean, you know, whatever happened with the twins when they were young,
diversity hire,
the witches, right? So, and then all the dead Jedi, and he just leaves. And you saw that shot of Jackie like down on the ground, lifeless, dead. Like, what is the protocol? Do you call like whatever the Jedi, services are? Like, he's like, I get, okay, next episode, they're going to fire Soul. They'll give him a leave without pay.
Right.
But
you're suspended. He's going to go into the chief's office and she's going to yell at him. Go, God damn it, Soul.
Yeah.
You're always doing this to me. You're going off the books. You're suspended without pay.
He really is a terrible Jedi to be so stupid, or he is playing stupid.
That, by the way, that literally just happened in Axel F. I was watching. I got most of the way through Beverly Hills Cop. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But that happened. But no, you asked what do you do, Chris? For one, that place that was really hard to find that everybody needed a tracker for.
Yeah.
Barely an inconvenience for these people who finally. So, we have to set up Master Soul. The first thing he should have done after the last episode is call the High Council. He tries to call the High Council and it's jammed. So they can't understand. They can't get the message across. And then Soul sends Osha May, Osha is supposed to be a mechanic. So, hey, go. Could you go check out and maybe you can boost the transponder or whatever. She goes down there. She restarts Pip, who's still alive. And thank God, the little, I can't even call it a iPad. It's more like what was those spelling things that we played with when we were kids?
Palm Pilot? No, wait.
No, the spelling toy.
Oh, what was that?
Help me, chat. I'm having a senior moment. Whatever. She has that toy, and she fixes Pip, and then Pip recognizes her, so she resets Pip to default settings, and then how she figures out the ship. Everybody, like, what's wrong with the ship? Like, hey, is she sabotaging it? Is somebody else sabotaging it? She restarts the ship. That's what she does. She just turns it on and off again. Speak and spell. Thank you. She gets her speak and spell out and resets it to default settings and then just turns the ship on and off. And they're able to get the message out. It was still garbled, but then we get to Jedi Master Nepo and Jedi Master Effeminate, possibly gay, definitely British, possibly both. And they decide, hey, we need to get a team out there right away. And then they fuck around and talk for a little while. Some more. And then they make a joke. What was that?
Called that Jedi Joe Dirt or Alabama Jedi.
He's way too effeminate. No, that was way too, I mean, he looked like Joe Dirt, but did not sound like him. Did not sound like him. So they're like, man, all the Jedi are dead. We should really get over there. But then let's talk about it some more. And let's make a joke about Jedi Master Nepo getting sick in hyperspace. Ha, 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 funny, funny. And then Basil recognizes that that's May, the murderer of two Jedis. And then they have a silly Billy scene where Basil tries to attack her leg or hump her leg or something. And it's supposed to be fucking funny. And it's like, this is a murderer. This is a murderer who wanted to turn herself in, then decided she didn't want to turn herself in, which helped lead to the death of a lot of Jedi, but now we're supposed to like this person. This show is all over the place. And yes, the biggest problem is lesbian headlamp can't write, and Disney and Lucasfilm don't know how to make TV shows. But like your main characters, we have to care about them a little, and I just want them to die. I'm rooting for Smilo Ren at this point. I hope he kills everybody.
Yeah, I mean, May Osha is the least interesting part of the show.
It is.
And whenever the focus is on them, it's bad, really bad. And what I hate, she is the actress, Amandla Stenberg, hot. She is, we've seen her, she looks smoking hot. And she is so ugly in this show. That haircut is not complimentary to her. You know, it makes her look dumb.
It's only complimentary to one person. Rick James.
Yeah, exactly. He wore it better.
Yes, but he did.
I'm saying that, like, and this is now a trend. Like watching the Madam Web press conference stuff.
Yeah.
All those actresses so much better looking doing press or the red carpet than they were in the movie. And this goes for everything. Amandla has a body on her. I'm sorry. I watched that music video.
It sounds like a lot. You really studied it.
Yeah.
But
real close.
Dumpy in the show. They cover her body and she looks just bad. This is a new trend. So women cannot be sexy or attractive, but the men take their shirts off, take their clothes off, Google them, give them the
like absolutely
female gaze.
Which is fine, by the way. Go ahead, objectify the shit out of us. We don't care.
But let's do equal opportunity. Like, have the women be hot. It sucks. I think it sucks for the actresses. They obviously, when they go to the red carpets for these things or do press, they want to say, hey, you know what? I actually am hot. I'm not just a dumpy.
No, and that shows like how full of shit they are because they get all frumpy in the shows. And you know why? Yes. They're doing this to check a box and it's some sort of regulation and shit. But in real life, they're still hotting it up, which good. Now bring that back into the shows.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you have wanted her to go into the pool with Smilo? Would that have made the show better?
No.
Well, yes, it would have. Yes, it would have. Axel Braun would have directed this scene.
Oh, well,
hey.
And it would have been better.
Wait,
Yeah,
Gary,
and shorter.
did
Yeah,
you
sorry.
see that
No. Well, speaking of the video, real quick.
Okay.
I'm just going to see if this changes your mind.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't discourse.
My people cried in fear to find and believe. My people cry so they can see us as human beings. They recognize propaganda they spew.
I am black.
And try to weaponize everything that we do.
I'ma tell you something.
Shit.
They spin and woke, bastardize it, appreciate it.
It says appropriate it, not appreciate it.
Appreciate it, appropriated, whatever. Speak truth to power. Keep an eye out, not fodder for your clickbait. Speaking of which, journalists, did you forget it's your job to provide the truth?
We so bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't fucking go.
That's a rockin' body on Ryan.
Bored, don't fucking go discourse. We so bored, don't discourse.
As his favorite video, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Well, that's a butterface. I'll tell you
Smash
that.
your pass.
Oh, Ryan, did
Smash
you hear
your
that?
pass.
Smash
What?
your pass. Yeah.
Smash your pass.
Pass.
Chat you too. Pass.
But no, she's smoking hot. No girl does a video like that showing off her body that doesn't want to show off her body.
No, that's
And her. She chose to do that. But what I'm saying is, we have seen it happen in the Marvel movies. Where they're stripping Thor naked, but none of the women are dressed provocatively ever. It sucks.
so. If you wanted to use twins for a mystery, which has been used in Hollywood forever, the problem is it was used in a time where you could get away with this shit. It's not that time. This could have worked. Like everything, every concept, it could have worked. It doesn't because the people involved either just don't care or have no idea what they're doing. And it's for you to decide. I don't really care either way. Having twins with roughly the same haircut,
Right.
separated after what? How many years with it? Yeah, years. 16 years is retarded. It's absolutely retarded. Even for Disney Star Wars. And that's saying something. So we had Jedi Master Nepo gets her stomach gets a little, well, like her, I'm assuming its stomach gets a little queasy during hyperspace, but they finally make it down to the planet. So, and they finally get to the murder scene pretty easily. And you ask, what do you do, Chris? I don't know. You cordon off the murder scene. And I would say the first thing you do as a Jedi is take an inventory of the lightsabers. That would be the first thing I did. Bodies aren't going anywhere. Really sorry. My brothers and sisters are dead, but count those fucking lightsabers right now. Do it right now. It's a rare weapon. It's a dangerous weapon. It would also lead to like, well, if somebody took the lightsabers, well, they must know how to use them.
And that dumb thing that she said, what do you observe?
Oh, I know.
It was so, oh my God. I cringe.
And then he nails it.
Yeah.
He looks up and goes,
They're all dead.
They're all dead. And they fought a single person who with lots of skill, but unfocused. How does he tell from the fucking footprints? Or maybe he's sensing this. I don't fucking know. But he nails it. And then he goes, well, it's got to be Master Soul. And honestly, that's a pretty good conclusion. He's gone. By the way, Master Soul finally does get in contact with the High Republic and breaks the contact and leaves right before the other ship shows up. Why?
His behavior doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense. If he's going to tell May everything, he could have just done that before they even got on the ship.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's there for the mystery. I mean, do you think Soul could be the bad guy?
They're implying it in this episode,
but
they're implying he may be involved.
But he'd be impossible based on everything we've seen. I mean, there's no sense of maybe in the flashback, there's a little bit of a sense of possibly, I'm trying to be fairer than I should be to the show, of an unreliable narrator, right?
Yeah.
Which is what you need in this. By the way, if you're going to do a mystery box mystery show like this and you're going to riff off Fight Club, you need an unreliable narrator. And they've kind of presented everything as it was.
So we're probably going to get seeing events, but it will change our perception of everything. It's so obvious, but yeah, I stopped caring a while ago. Now it's just goofing on this stuff. But man, 2 more episodes left. And my God, I just wonder, what do normies think of this?
They don't watch it.
Down with your kids, okay? Because one of the joys of my life was being able to review movies that I saw as a kid with my kids. Gary, you know that same joy, right? And when they reach certain milestones, they're ready for this. They're ready for Road Warrior. They're ready for Alien. It's awesome because it's like you get to see it for the first time through their eyes. What parent would want to sit down with their kid to watch this new Star Wars show? I don't know. Is
it still for 12-year-olds, Chris?
No way. No way. And I'm not saying because it's violent or whatever, like it's just not good. And it's just
I thought this was for 12-year-olds.
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure Disney completely intends it to be for 12-year-olds because that's on brand for Disney. But it's not for any year-olds. Anybody who's not a window licker at this point. It's all will be revealed in the last moments of the final episode. That's what it's going to be. They're going to try to usual suspects us. Now,
do you think they're going to wrap it all up? Because what Leslie Headland said is she's got more stories. There could be Acolyte season 2.
She did, but she also said that you should wrap it up and make it feel satisfying.
Right.
In theory, that's a really good thing to say. And I don't think that's even possible at this point in the show because it's left you with so many questions and massive, can you even call them plot holes? Plot singularities, I would say at this point. And 2 characters nobody cares about. Even the people trying to defend the show cannot defend May and Osha. Like they can't.
It just seems like there were too many bad cooks in the writer's room where it's like, so they're trying to fix plot holes while they're writing it to make it make sense. It's so, especially the May going back and forth on her decision-making about what she's going to do, And I don't understand. What would have been good if May just killed that little rodent. Just
kill him. Like,
just kill it. Hide the body. No one will miss it.
Dude, kill Soul, kill the rodent, take the ship.
Right.
Osha, kill Smilo. He walked up and it's to show that, she doesn't really want to kill. And she's not a Jedi. She could pop that lightsaber right through his gut and run because he's probably going to kill her. He just killed a bunch of Jedi and there's, make it make sense. It's too late, but you can't.
In great storytelling, you understand what the protagonist wants, what the protagonist's goal is. And Osha and May are just caught up in circumstances. I don't know what Osha's goal is. What is her goal? What is her dream? It's never, ever, she doesn't state it. And May has gone back and forth.
Yeah, there's no consistency of character.
Yes, exactly.
Even with a character that changes their mind, there's still a consistency there.
Yes.
A baseline of morality. We don't know what that is because of what you just said. We don't know their desires. We know nothing about it. We just know that Osha quit the Jedi and took a day job. That's about it.
Luke was real simple. I want to be a Jedi like my father before me. And once the reveal in Empire, I want to save my father.
Yep.
And my friends. And that's what makes Luke such a great character in the OT. I mean, Mark Hamill has kind of ruined that, but very, very clear, simple. Don't muck it up. Simple. I don't know what Maya and Osha are all about. Neither of them act like heroes. They're heroes in name only because the script says they have to be.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So the worst part is, so they have an opportunity to give you some background on Smilo, right? And he's talking to Osha about, being thrown away by a master, probably left to die, losing everything, but it's all vague. Like, I know nothing about him either. And they had this great opportunity to give us what you probably would go to this show. You're seeing a show from the Sith's perspective, right? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Not this vague, like, I lost everything. My master rejected me. We're not that different, are we? It's like, it's all this cliche shit. And you had ample time, because there was just a bunch of sitting around and talking, to give us that background, which you didn't do. And there's plenty there. Disney has no problem ripping off the EU. Just rip off the fucking EU. Give us something. But they didn't, because, I doubt any of these people actually, went back. See, if I took on a show, we've talked about this with Star Trek. This is just me. If I took on a show and I didn't know much about it, right, I would become as much of an expert on that thing as I could. I would do all the research I could. I would make that part of my deal. Like, if you're going to hire me, give me a little time. I'll rent a cabin somewhere. I'll watch everything I need to watch. I'll read everything I need to read. And that's all I'll do to understand it back forth. And then I'll ask people. I'll ask lore experts. Take it seriously. If you're getting that big of a paycheck, take it seriously. But they don't. They just don't. They take the paycheck, they go out and party, and then they Google some shit, a Wikipedia some shit, and make a show. And why not? Because Disney puts no standards on them. And we get why do you care? There's starving children in Africa.
Well, that's a dumb argument for anything. Like, why work a job and make money and feed your family? The Red Letter Media thing, you guys covered it a little on Real BBC yesterday. I'm more angry the more I think about it. They never used to go after people. Now they're going after people as a way to absolve themselves of having to take a side, and they still don't need to. They just need to do what they do, which is cover, the Acolyte, which was the promise of that video, which became, these are the other people. We're not that, even though we will also shit on the Acolyte. And when you guys went over it again yesterday, it was like, yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, and I love them. I never miss a video, and I love Best of the Worst is really good. They have such insight.
Yeah.
They like to go last so they can be the final word on anything. So they'll extremely late reviews of stuff. It's rare that it's nearly on time. And I think they have opened themselves up. People are going to, and they deserve it, go after them because they're going after other people. And I think it's a mistake on their part. When you guys, it just was like, why are they doing this? You know?
I mean, simply we're responding. And it's not even a personal attack on Rich or Mike or I'll
Jay.
And Jay, I'm still subscribed to their channel. I'll still watch their stuff. But when you put 2 videos in a row, you put our stuff in there, right? Clips, and it started with Furiosa. Furiosa started some weird shit. Like, people got really fucking triggered that we pointed out it was a flop. All right. And they took it as like we're pissing on its grave. It's like, no, it's just we're making a point of a point with many layers, by the way, of this was I like the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I like the damn movie, but I knew exactly why it failed. And it's not, And it seems like a lot of critics and content creators want to go out and immediately do what the fucking Access Media does and blame the audience. It's not the fucking audience. It's not the audience. For one, the previous film didn't do that well.
Yeah.
The audience wants Mad Max in a Mad Max world. That's what they want. And they have a right to spend their money however the fuck they want. And they're obviously going to stuff that they want. Give the audience what they want. Don't fucking blame them. Okay? That, like, they're not in your fucking world and they don't care. They just know that Hollywood has a giant black eye right now. It's a tainted brand. And the girl boss trope is a trope. It has gone way too far. And you know what? Now, when you do put a female lead in something, people are automatically going to think that. Is that the audience's fault or is it Hollywood's fault for putting too many cringe fucking girl bosses and everything? It's Hollywood's fault, obviously. So that triggered a bunch of people like, oh, look at all these mouth-breathing audience members. We are above all that. We are the pretentious film critics. We are cinephiles. Fuck off. Always hated that. Like, especially the critics who go after like stupid, silly Star Wars fans with your space wizards and everything. It's like, bro, you still review movies of people playing pretend, but you think your pretend is more serious than our pretend. Fuck off.
Well, and Mahler made a good point to go back to the red letter stuff. I want to say that it sounds like they're tired of doing this. Like they don't like, and you see sometimes YouTubers like, whoa, you need a break, step away for a bit, come back re-energized, whatever you need to do. Like they complain a lot in their videos about hating going to the movies. And I'm like, well, I feel really lucky because so many movie theaters, there are 4 movie theaters walking distance from where I live, like including an iPic theater, which is a more expensive. You just sit down and, you know, it's great. Like, so I have the pick. I can go to the Academy Museum and see the glorious. We should go, Gary, when you're in town. I have a pass.
I'll go. That'd be
awesome. Go to the museum. I have a +1 that I can take people there. It's like, I love cinema. I love it. And even small towns all have their like rep theater, right? A little indie theater that they work a little harder. They bring back old movies like screenings of Krull or Evil Dead 2 or whatever. Like I look at those guys with all the money they make. Is there not one theater near where they live, where they choose to live, where there isn't some
they could buy one
house? That's what I'm saying. They could buy one, hire someone to curate
especially
it.
in Wisconsin. Come on.
Yeah,
no shade on Wisconsin, but yeah, property values.
And they made a movie, which I saw, Space Cop. I mean, it's intentionally bad. Like, it's funny. So they made a bad movie on purpose, which is very funny. And they clearly know their movies, right? Which is why their stuff is mostly sort of partially scripted, you know, off the cuff. They make fun of each other. They obviously have a sense of humor about themselves. But I do not get their last few videos. Is really disappointing. Engage in the conversation, and they never live stream, and they never respond in comments. They don't post on social media any commentary. Although I DM'd them a couple times on a few things, inconsequential nerd fact stuff. So they follow me, but they're like isolated. And I feel like
if that's where they want to be, that's fine.
It's fine, but some you benefit. I look at a lot of people. Okay, I watch you. I watch Geeks and Gamers. I watch Ryan Cannell. I watch John Campea. I watch Rob Burnett. I watch Grace Randolph. I'll pop them on. Like, what does she have to say? I mean, I get a wide variety.
She's good for a laugh.
Well, I like to know, like, a lot of times I watch her and think, how did she come to that conclusion? What happens in that brain that came up with that thought? So I like to see, and I love the conversation. I love what we're doing now or with others, whatever. I love it. It's the fun of enjoying this stuff, but Red Letter was really sad. But yeah, you're right. The audience is not at fault. Stop blaming the audience. Turn the mirror on yourself. Look at what you're doing, Hollywood, because it's in your power to fix all of it. There's that, we should bring it up, that Domino's commercial where they admitted their pizza sucks. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
It was like, well, we know our pizza is for drunk college kids. Like we improved it. Like it was a great campaign.
The Padres did that a long time ago after their first fire sale. They came out and they did a fire sale, pissed off all of San Diego. There's a couple guys in empty bleachers going, "Hey, at least it's baseball." That was their commercial. That was their fucking commercial. It was hilarious.
Petco Park is one of the best parks.
This is way before This is in the Murph.
Oh, okay.
This is in the Murph. It was Jack Murphy at that time. But like a corporation admitting fault would go so far. They have all these fucking executives, this goes for mostly Hollywood, are so scared to lose their jobs. That's why we keep getting this shit perpetuated until like they can't push it anymore and it just all falls apart. That's kind of what happens in corporate America. You reach maturity. Hollywood has reached maturity. Hollywood has reached maturity probably a long time ago. So they're afraid to take any risks or anything, or just come out and be fallible humans and go, you know what? We fucked up. Sorry, we're going to fix it. That would go a long fucking way. A long way. People would like, oh, wow, that was actually human. I appreciate that. That's why, authenticity, currency of the future, RMB.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't blame your audience. Don't fucking blame your audience. That seems to be like a default when creatives, especially. The Access Media has always hated us. Okay, always hated us. But it's a default to creators who maybe their creative battery's a little low, feeling a little insecure. Shit doesn't always work all the time, and the shit doesn't last forever. But I wouldn't you don't recognize my genius. Now, is there examples of movies that caught on later that people didn't recognize at the time? Sure. Most of the time, audience knows what they like, right? They know what they like. And Blade Runner is a great example of that. Still wouldn't have been a big hit. It's still niche. It's still noir. It's still basically for fucking nerds, which I'm fine with, by the way, with proof of its sequel, which was terrible, by the way, and it flopping completely. Oh, blame the audience for not recognizing the genius of people slowly walking through shit for 2 hours.
Or Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford in his fucking Walmart T-shirt.
Dude, I saw that movie in a theater. It was empty. I saw it the opening day.
I saw it opening day too.
Theater.
I was so fucking excited.
There are a few people here and scattered, but it was like, oh, I can just, wow.
I could not fathom that I would not like that movie. Me and Melissa we're huge Blade Runner fans.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw the original in theaters when I was 12 with my friend Doug Johnson and my mom in an empty fucking theater on opening day, by the way. And I went, I was in San Francisco, and we watched it at West Portal, at the theater at West Portal, which is right across the street from the Starbucks where I did my very first podcast from. And the theater was pretty packed. It's a big theater. It's a big old theater. And I would have never thought in a million years I'd walk out of that, and Melissa and I go, well, that sucked.
I mean, initially, I didn't really like it. I liked the design, the flying cars, the sort of noir.
Girl is the key to everything, bro. God. Like, really?
But really? But, well, that was before.
Anna de Armas, okay. Thumbs up on that. But, I mean, like.
Oh, the sequel. Yeah, the sequel was.
The sequel.
Yeah.
No, the first one, I walked out of the first one going, that changed my life, my view on cinema. I'm like, what is this noir thing? I love it. So.
Yeah, it got me into watching old film noir.
Yes.
I was aware of it. I'd seen those films, but wow, like it just showed what was possible with sci-fi. I mean, what are you eating, X-Ray Girl? What is that? Are those
gummy butterflies? They're from Buc-ee's.
Gummy butterflies.
Buc-ee's has some pretty damn good gummy bears, I will say.
Oh my!
Oh,
have you been to a Buc-ee's, Chris?
I am
You
aware
need
of
to.
Buc-ee's. I've
Have
never
you
You
been?
need to.
You have never been to a Buc-ee's? When you come out here, when you come out to San Antonio, it's not far away. I'll take you to the biggest Buc-ee's in the world.
Oh,
And
I
it
might
is,
be there too.
and I shit you not, it's as big as like almost as big as a Walmart. And it's
And
a
the bathrooms
and it's
are
a gas
amazing.
station. And it's a gas station. All right, so Star Wars: The Acolyte, Episode 6. This is from Games Radar. They're saying this. Star Wars: The Acolyte, Episode 6 is for you, Raylos.
It's just, I mean, fanfic is making characters in fiction
Self-inserts.
have sex. Yeah.
And have sex. Yeah, and it comes from slash.
And
And
it
like,
generally makes them gay.
well, okay.
I mean,
The
seriously.
sex part comes from slash fiction, but fanfic, like there's a big fucking lie out there that all fanfic came from slash fiction. That is bullshit. People have been doing fan fiction forever. Go back to 30s that people were doing fan fiction then. So
Oh, I remember Kirk and Spock fanfic from the 80s. And
Well-
I would go to conventions. They would have Xerox things.
Oh, this-
they would have covers with Kirk and Spock.
well, that's what
naked.
that's what the slash fiction is. That's what it is. Kirk and Spock having sex, and it was some perverted chick in the 70s. But there was fanfic well before that. There's been this urban legend that started fanfic. It's like no. It wasn't called fanfic, by the way, back then. But people were definitely writing their own stories. Again, way back. After the seismic events of last week, The Acolyte Episode 6 takes things down a notch for a slower, more measured installment. Episode 5 ended with May switching places with Osha, because it's the Jedi trap, and leaving with Sol, while Chimere, Asian Ezra Miller, newly unmasked as the Sith Lord, absconded with Osha. Considering all the potential here, I was hoping for slightly more in the way of answers, which you don't get because it's Mystery Box. This week, teach/corrupt. Well, I mean, Star Wars has been corrupted by Disney, though is still more interested in setting up mysteries than resolving them. And mind you, we are almost done with the series now. Thank God. Thank God. But we don't need to go over this whole thing. But Games Radar saying that this is Raylo fanfic. I completely agree. Agree.
Yeah. I'm sure they had discussions like what will be the reaction. And I don't know. They were definitely pandering to that audience for sure.
Yes.
But also just giving them a tease, right? It's the implied nudity, right?
Okay, so
Because you can't do nudity in Star Wars. I mean, at least for the moment. So
no,
yeah, I'm sorry.
So we see the degradation of Doctor Who and Star Wars simultaneously. People have already forgotten about Doctor Who, but what both shows really show off the most is you have out of touch old executives hiring people who are completely out of touch, thinking they're making something for younger people. This is supposed to be for kids. Acolyte and Doctor Who were both supposed to be for 12-year-olds. And there's a lot of stuff in it that's not for 12-year-olds that you would not traditionally put in your 12-year-old stuff. Well, traditionally, that's the key word. And no young people are watching this. They tried to pull some shit with the ratings. In the lowest rated Doctor Who ever, they said it was watched by the most 18 to 35, so in the young demographic. So it was watched by the most young people in the lowest rated Doctor Who ever. Tell me how that makes sense. So a large portion of the very few people who watched it were young. What's the percentage? Show us the numbers. Show us the fucking numbers. They never will, because that's bullshit. Kids aren't fucking watching this shit. No kids are watching this shit, but they think they're making it for them. And they decide, hey, kids like that TikTok and the fanfic. Let's do that with Star Wars. And that's what happened to comics. And that's what happened to Star Trek. And yeah, it's just a miracle that people even talk about Star Wars anymore. I keep thinking like, this is it. This is it. This is where it heads into apathy. But it really has. It's head into apathy with the general public. Star Wars is supposed to be palatable to the normie. It is the most palatable science fiction fantasy franchise ever to the normie. Because it wasn't overcomplicated, because it came from the the hardcore Star Wars fans will read the EU and watch all the cartoons. The very casual fan will watch the movies. So that's their canon. And then they can have their super duper Star Wars fan fill in some stuff for them. But as it stands right now, that EU stuff that they're plucking and stealing from doesn't count. According to Disney, it doesn't count. Now I know it does to the Star Wars fans out there, as it should, but doesn't count to Disney.
When I look at this stuff, I think to myself, what's missing? Core values. Heroic characters who are heroic. Villains that are, they have their own agenda. It's a misguided agenda, but you understand the motives of the villain. And because the people making this don't have core values themselves, everything is gray. Mm-hmm. That thing that Charlie Barnett said, was it him who said, well, there's no good and evil in Star Wars? Yes, the people that are making it now think that. But if you get to core values, what makes a hero, what makes a villain, and that's universal. That's where normies' brains are. That's why normies are tuning out, because they don't know what it is. So is they the good guys, the bad guys, who is what? I mean, it really comes down to that. For me, you want to tell a good Star Wars story, just a character we relate to, who has the best intentions, high aspirations, is a good person. The whole save the cat concept, right? That's why Luke was so likable. No one treats droids are like machines. No, he has feelings for his R2 unit, right? I know it sounds weird, but that's part of what builds Luke as a character. Whereas Han just doesn't care, stupid droid, whatever, a tool.
Well, but that was also based on Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. It was inspired by Kurosawa, but it also had some mythological elements. And when you take things to Tolkien, he was building a mythology. And when you have creatives approaching these projects, for Lesbian Headlamp, saying, hey, this is going to be Kill Bill meets Frozen, meets The Parent Trap, meets fucking Fight Club, that's where you fail, right? When you approach Tolkien's lore and you're we're going to make it like Breaking Bad. What the fuck are you, get away. Get away. You should not be anywhere near it. You don't have to search for themes in Tolkien. They're there. His themes are there. Just use his themes. But they can't, because what Chris just mentioned, they don't believe in heroism. Heroism is the patriarchy. Heroism is capitalism. Heroism is misogyny. Heroism is alt-right. We can't do that. Everything's got to be shades of gray and nihilism. And that's antithetical to Star Wars, and particularly antithetical to Tolkien. So is it they can't make it, or they're unwilling to make it? That's the question. I'm getting to the point. I used to say unwilling a lot, but I think you were right, Chris. I don't think they're capable. I don't think they even fucking know.
Exactly. What is a core value? These are things you learn from parents, religion, the Cub Scouts or the Boy Scouts, these institutions that are not as widely accepted. I got to show, there is I can share a screen.
Share it.
So I'm going to do this.
Do it.
Legion of Memers. Shout out to Legion of Memers for this. All right. There you go. Wait, I got another one.
Share that image that Perry put up in our Discord too, X-Ray Girl. The response to my tweet. But you go first, Chris.
Oh, I got one more. The ending, potential ending of the Acolyte leaked out right here. I don't know if you've seen this. Here we go. There we go.
I love his neck is bent.
It's so dumb.
Dude, we're still Master Torbu? Torben?
Yeah.
What his name? Tommen? Master Tommen?
Ryan Kinnell.
What did he do to just off himself?
We're gonna find out next episode.
That was in the second episode, and they haven't shown anything since then.
He was so distraught, he finished becoming a Jedi Master and meditated for 10 years. Didn't take one shit. So
no. Well, he put it in the world between worlds.
Right. Oh my God. Wait, what else you got?
Oh my God.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh.
Perry Chan is savage.
Oh, that's cruel. I love it. Oh my God.
Each episode, I'm like, I can't do a video. This is too boring. And then the memes come out. I'm like, oh, I can come up with something. I can come up with something.
Hilarious.
God. Got to see it through.
The memes are keeping me going. They literally are just keeping me, all right, stick with it. Let's go. Come on.
You're going to start seeing Disney drop everything at once. They're going to stop doing the weekly.
Well, it's weird. The week after it's done, we will not be talking about it.
Yeah, there'll be some fallout for I would say a few days after the finale, and you're not wrong.
Yeah. Then it'll be forgotten.
Well, Doctor Who. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery. Nobody cares. And I mean, that's where it's going to head. If they really make a Rey movie, that'll get a response, but that thing's going to flop. I think Mando and Grogu would do a little better than a Rey movie. It's like if a Star Wars movie is released in a theater, it needs to make $1 billion. That's what they fucking expect. $1 billion. And Ryan pointed this out. I pointed this out. $1 billion doesn't mean what it used to, because you're charging fewer people more money. During COVID, you know what a lot of theaters spent their fucking money that we gave them, the taxpayer, buying those really expensive seats and filling up there's fewer seats in the theater. So a theater that used to have 200 people in it now has 100, but you're charging as much as 200, but that's still a shrinking audience. I witnessed this in the comic book industry. The whole time I was retailing, I just saw those comic prices going up. I saw a bunch of variants being made, and what you're doing is selling multiples of the same comic to one person, and somehow they equated that to those are huge comic sales. No, they're not. For one, that person's not reading the book. They're buying basically a baseball card. They're buying a piece of art. That's all they're doing. They're not reading the book, so it's not perpetuating the story. So you're selling to fewer people, and you're not growing. You're not growing because that person's not reading that story and then telling another person, hey, this is a great story. You should read it. They're just going, oh, look at that Scotty Young variant. That's not gonna help you. Work for the short term, not for the long term. So yes, Hollywood has reached maturity and probably did years ago.
I can't believe a Star Wars movie will come out and no one's going to care, and it's not going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, that
right.
was unthinkable. Unthinkable. Even after the prequels, right? When you would consider that a downtime for Star Wars, it really wasn't.
It wasn't.
The comics were fucking selling like crazy for a property comic. which is unheard of. They would sell as good as a superhero comic. They would.
The prequels were a phenomenon. Maybe in like for a younger generation, that I'll refer to a documentary made by a young Texas filmmaker called The Prequels Strike Back. It was about a kid. Well, the guy who made it was a kid when the prequels came out, and he loved them. He loved the prequels. He got older, got on the internet, and saw people hated it, and he wanted to find out why people dislike the prequels. It's from his point of view, and I'm in the movie, so just be forewarned. But he makes a good argument, like for things to appreciate about the prequels, and I would say they have aged better than the sequels. I have not revisited the sequels for a long time. I wonder if those will hold up in any way. I think it'll just be a source of disappointment. The sequels of what?
Oh yeah. You're not gonna have this. You're not gonna have a generation from the prequels were made by George. That does matter.
Right.
Okay, that does matter, and it did capture an entire generation. It was still, I mean, the original trilogy is the best. We got the best. Not going to apologize for that, and the original trilogy is why it's still around today. That original trilogy, that is why it's still around, and that's great. Disney never knew what to do with it. We've gone over that ad infinitum at this point, but the fact that they're just continuing down the path is a bit remarkable. Is a bit remarkable that they just there's an executive that remains in charge that the CEO of Disney is afraid of. Kathleen Kennedy has the final fucking word on this shit. And I'll tell you right now, Kevin Feige does not, I repeat, does not have the final word with Marvel. And you think he would, because what he accomplished is way more impressive than what Kathleen Kennedy has accomplished.
True.
Her entire fucking career.
There are more good Marvel movies than Star Wars movies.
Yes. And putting together, up to Endgame, right? To be fair, up to Endgame, putting that together that'll never be done again. Ever. It's kind of extraordinary that Kevin Feige can be overruled on a couple things, not everything, but on a couple things.
Right.
And more will be revealed someday on that.
Shit.
No, Kathleen Kennedy, she has all the power and she shoots shit down, and she's awful. She's the worst studio head in recent memory in the history of Hollywood.
Do you know how Leslie Headland is referred to as Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant? I think we should start referring to Rey as Palpatine's granddaughter. That's what we're left with in Star Wars.
Well, that's what she is.
I know. No one ever says that. I don't care about the continuing adventures of the granddaughter of the main villain. I don't care.
Rey Palpatine, a Star Wars story.
Rey Palpatine. That's what we're getting with a Rey movie. If it happens. I still have doubts, Gary. Grogu and Mandalorian, fine.
It's just a repurposed season 4.
That's all it is.
And all these shows are just repurposed movie scripts from D+. That's obvious.
There'll be a Luke cameo in the movie.
There'll be
sure. Luke cameo.
Oh, yes. I think Ryan was talking about this. I absolutely think Luke is part of the plans for the Filoni verse, whatever the fuck it is. And yeah, you should just recast him at this point.
Sebastian Stan, he'd be good. All right, I got to get more coffee, Gary. I'll be right back.
Go get more coffee.
Be right back. Okay.
I'm gonna read a couple soups while he's gone, and then I don't know if anybody saw Horizon. I did, because and my theater was it was Texas, right? So Cowboys, and it was 10 in the morning on Friday, so it was before FNT. and it's over 3 hours long. But it was pretty full. It wasn't a huge theater though. It wasn't like in a big theater, but it was pretty full. It's pretty full. Gatekeeper for $49.99. Hail X-Ray Girl Chris. Let me say this without spoilers before I immediately spoil everything. Gore and my favorite Gary. Love you, brother. Headed home after being on the road since mid-March for home time. I wish you all continued success and good health. Well, hey, hail to the truckers out there. Hail to the truckers. I respect them on the road. I do. Because you have to. Dan Ryman for 100. This is Gary, X-Ray Go, Frank Gore, hail. When are y'all going to do a meetup in Wisconsin? Dells. Well, my trip to Wisconsin got put off probably till next year because the place that we stay is getting an addition, which part of it is my studio, my travel studio up there. So it won't be done till next year. My brother-in-law's working on it. Actually, Melissa's leaving today, but she was up there working on it too. So Grateful Shed, great venue. Food trucks offering different menus parked inside a shed, huge bar, indoor stage, lots of parking. Plus, it's the Wisconsin Dells Midwest vacation spot. I'd love to go check it out. Thank you. We'll be back up there next year. Or maybe later this year. Maybe even later this year. The Flash Kit for $20. Gary, sorry I missed the watch party. It's okay. I had a situational disability. Oh, your kid got in the way. Yeah, I understand that. I fell asleep, but I watched in the morning and read some Swamp Thing for the first time. It's good. Can't wait to read more. Swamp Thing is good. But like, go back to the Bernie Wrightson one, and then you can go to the Alan Moore one. I love Swamp Thing. Great book. Tino O'Keefe for 50 Canadian pesos. Thank you very much. You can't access my inner 13-year-old self, Mr. Gore. That's Disney's job. That's Disney's job. Ministry of Wrong Thing for $19.99. Notice Smilo Ren. Ren is the only Disney representation of actual masculinity in Disney Star Wars. Stoic, aggressive, confident, secure, cocky, wants to do things his own way, and they made him represent the evil dark side. Yep. It's not lost on, I don't think, anybody. Kevin Willis for 50. Says, after deciding to boycott Disney since Gina Carano, I spent the last 1,000 with them because of kids' situational disabilities. Get it right, okay? Dadding comes before nerding, but will finally break personal boycott for Deadpool 3. God damn it. But will not believe it means they get it now at all. No, that's fine. How did I avoid that? Oh, I didn't buy the tickets for Deadpool Wolverine. Somebody else did.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, you.
Oh.
We're going to see it together. We're going to see it together. So that'll be interesting. Wow. Yeah.
All right.
You're back.
I'm back, man.
Hey, I saw almost all of Beverly Hills Cop this morning.
And
it's not as bad as Beverly Hills Cop 3, which I thought it would be worse.
Oh, well, that's
it's okay. It's fine for a Netflix movie. It's fine. It does have his daughter, and his daughter's a defense attorney, trying to keep a kid who was framed for murder of a cop out of jail, and she's working pro bono because she's just a good person. There's a couple of cringe fucking lines, including Eddie Murphy as a cop being two women are arresting him from a little car. So it's kind of funny. It's very Beverly Hills. Like, these two women are, and he's like, but then they got the two women have their guns out, and she's all, stop or I'll shoot. He's all, well, I've been a cop for 30 years or 40 years, but I've been a black man all my life, so I know better not to reach for my wallet. And I'm like, what the fuck? You're a cop. Now, being wary of female cops shooting you, based. Okay. I'd be very wary of that. Go see Sam Hyde's take on that. But yeah, there's a couple of cringe moments. But they recall a lot. There's a lot of music recalled. They just reuse the music from the first one.
Really?
And it starts out with an action scene in Detroit. Then they go to he goes to Beverly Hills. And yeah, some of the stuff was kind of funny. There's a realtor that's kind of funny in it. So it's fine. Like the action is good. Taggart's in it a lot. It looks older, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the ex-boyfriend of Axel Foley's daughter, who they're estranged, by the way. They haven't talked to each other in 5 years. And they say that Axel sent his. You get the story of why they sent her away, but I wouldn't call it great cinema. I'm not going to go that far, but it's definitely better than Beverly Hills Cop 3. Yes. So if you want a dumb movie to watch, I'd say I haven't gotten to the end yet though, but I wasn't completely bored. And they pace it like a Beverly Hills Cop movie. It's just it just gets going, right? And there's a mystery, and Kevin Bacon plays he's the bad guy. He's like a corrupt cop. So
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's the boyfriend.
Yeah, he's fine. He's kind of a nothing, and he's an extra character in a Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Right.
So
yeah. It seems like an AI thing. It checks all the boxes, right?
Yeah,
these movies give you a template, and just copy the template, different things, different situations. I'm gonna watch it for sure, but
I fucking love those first two movies. I love them to death.
They're fun.
Dude, Eddie Murphy had such a great run in the 80s. My favorite is 48 Hours. 48 Hours is a fucking badass movie because it's Walter Hill and it's not a comedy. It's a funny action movie. But 48 Hours is the shit. It is a great movie. And I like The Golden Child and yeah.
Yeah. Nick Nolte, that movie, I wonder if you could do that movie now, 48 Hours.
You can't.
No. I remember a lot of things in that movie. I think there would be problems.
Mm-hmm.
I foresee problems. But
dude, James Remar was such a good bad guy in that. And it's so well directed. Walter Hill was the man.
Nick Nolte in his prime as an asshole. I love it. Oh, by the way, Beverly Hills Cop, it's playing in theaters in LA area.
So the Netflix one?
Yeah.
Okay, Axel F.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't put it would just be extra money. I don't know why they just wouldn't put it in theaters.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
They don't care.
I'll finish it up.
Wants your money.
It's fine. What are your thoughts on Horizon, Chris?
Here's the thing. I love Westerns.
So do I.
I love Westerns. Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch, Magnificent Seven, even the Young Guns, stuff like that. It's it's a guilty pleasure. Is it a great movie, Young Guns? No. Did I have fun? Yes. And Dances with Wolves, I love that movie. I really love it. The score, the music is amazing. It's basically Avatar, if you think about it. And I love that film, early 90s. Costner directed it. I mean, I love that film. I've watched it recently. So Westerns is such a tried and true genre. I love it. I saw this movie, Horizon, at a 3 p.m. in the afternoon show in Burbank. And the theater wasn't packed, but it was half full. I'm thinking half full, 3 in the afternoon. A lot of old people. There was an old couple sitting behind me that talked the whole movie, but it didn't bother me. She was like little cute old woman questions about what was happening. It's a TV show. It's the first 3 episodes of a 12-hour story with no ending. There's no ending. It just cuts to a montage without having a definitive, and we're going out west.
Yeah, like I was talking to you about it, and I'm like, I can't even remember at what point the movie ended, because it has a like a montage trailer at the end that shows you what's coming. And I'm like, did I look at my phone for a second? Like, when did it end? Yeah. You know,
which was bad.
It's beautifully shot. It's beautifully shot. It's got some engaging characters. The bad guy, number 1 from Vecna from Stranger Things, is a bad guy in it, and he's actually one of the best characters.
Yeah,
he's one of the best characters.
There's a lot of bad characters on both sides. You know, the Indians. There's even conflict with the tribe.
There is conflict with the tribe, and it shows the tribe doing some pretty horrible stuff. Justified by the white eyes coming to get. The only thing I had a problem with was not Ray Winston, dude from the Avatar.
Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington.
Yeah.
Sam Worthington is a Union officer, because this is during the Civil War, by the way.
Yeah.
And he calls them the indigenous.
Yeah, that
I'm like, come on.
What were the, and I will say this: there were naked breasts.
Yes, there were boobs.
That British couple, they were so annoying, but created conflict in the wagon train. You introduce these characters. There's a wagon train. There's the fort. There's Horizon, or what's left of it. There's a lot of storylines, but they don't intersect at all. They're going to. They're going to.
Yes.
But honestly, I know it was flawed. It was a Midwestern. I'll take a Midwestern to 0 Westerns at this point. I heard Razorfist liked it. So
he did. I actually DM'd him. I'm like, what are your thoughts? And he just said, yeah, it was bloated and overindulgent, and I fucking loved it.
Same. I was like sitting there. It was 3 hours, which flew by. And I was like, the audience I was with, they all clapped at the end. They all clapped.
Yeah, like, I'll be there for the next one. I will. I mean, just to find out what the hell happened. And Kevin Costner's character doesn't show up for an hour. You don't get his name for another half an hour. And you kind of get his motivation. You don't know his background yet, but he's just kind of thrown into something. So Horizon is a town that doesn't exist, that's tried to exist a couple of times, that basically somebody sold a bunch of people that's on Apache land, right? It's Apache land. And Apaches, not nice. Not fucking nice. And it opens up with an old like Spanish or Mexican Catholic priest after in a burned down church. So you saw that they tried to start something there too. Burying, we see some kids at the beginning and a family trying to like stake out their land, and then we see them dead. So we see dead kids like immediately, and the Catholic priest buries them, and then you see another settlement. That settlement just gets fucking burned down. Everybody gets killed and raped and scalped, and then it switches to like Montana, and then just randomly. So there's people trying to settle Horizon that's being sold to a lot of people, including the Chinese, everybody. So they're headed there on this promise that there's this land and you won't have any problems there. There's also a revenge story. There's multiple things going on. There's a wife and a daughter who's the brother and the father were killed, and that's who Sam Worthington is. He feels kind of exiled because everybody's going off to the Civil War now, but he's still on this post with John Huston's son. What's his name?
I don't know.
The director, John Huston's son. Well, his last name is Houston, but he was in Yellowstone. He was in Yellowstone. So what this is, and I liked it, but this is a giant dick measuring contest between Kevin Costner and Taylor Sheridan. That's what it is. Because it's 1883, but it's Kevin Costner's 1883. So,
but I just wish it'd been explained better, or there was a definitive, like it needed a button at the end, like and then a credit, and then a cut to the montage that would have explained it. Everyone was a little confused, but when it cut to credits, they all clapped. It was spontaneous, and I gotta say, I just enjoyed it. Like, it was like movie comfort food. That's what it was. Movie comfort food. But it was not a movie. It's,
first 3 episodes of a well-shot TV show, of an epically shot TV show that should go on a streaming service, be in episodes, and it'd be fine. But as a movie, you see part 1, and it doesn't have an ending. So I can't even say it's an unsatisfying ending, because there was no ending. It just started everything, introduced everybody. You didn't know everybody's name. And then so I'd almost wait till the second part comes out, where you're a little closer, if it's still in theaters, to watch part 1. But I definitely watch it in a theater. If you're a Western fan, go, just go
for sure.
Because we get so few of them now. And acting was really good.
Yeah, really good. Like, there's even you forgot to mention romance.
Yes, there is romance.
Like, a man kisses a woman. Actually, she kisses him. There's romance and interest and good people. There are characters. Here's the thing. Unlike the Acolyte, since we're talking Acolyte, you understand what everyone wants. I mean, some have some mystery, but you understand like the goals of the characters.
Yes.
And there are a lot of characters, some good, some bad, some maybe have mixed allegiance, but like they're all well-defined and it's simple. Kevin Costner being kind of the mystery character. I think there's more to him, but we'll see. But I just really enjoyed myself knowing it's not great, but this is the first part.
Kevin Costner gets he's just searching for gold. He's a gold miner, right?
Right.
And he gets caught up in a domestic affair where a mistress who had a child tries to kill the father of the child while he's sleeping. And there's some hardcore like family that's that controls whatever town they're in with like total iron fist and fear. And he sends his sons after is it Jenna Malone? I think it's Jenna Malone. Sends his sons after, and then Kevin Costner gets like mixed up in that, and then has to go on the run with this guy's son, and not even like Jenna Malone gets taken. It's the whore who was rooming with her or something like that. So he's got to take off, and now there's that story, and he gets involved in that, and now he's got a family after him. And everybody's and they're all going to converge on this horizon. So the flyer, that's the thing that's passed out and everybody's looking at throughout the movie is like, we're going to go to Horizon, but it was just all set up.
It's like a false promise.
Dude, if you're going to go to this movie, it'll be shorter. If you go look at the run, you go, okay, the movie says it starts at the theater at 10 a.m., for example, like I went to. Arrive at 10:30.
Right.
When all the fucking trailers and commercials are done. Hey, I know the theaters need money, but I don't go to a theater to fucking watch ads. I fucking always hated that. So arrive at 10:30, and then you can see the movie, and it's still 3 hours long.
Yeah, so it's if you love Westerns, you're gonna go. It's comfort food.
Yep, exactly. So
I think it remains to be seen with the further chapters whether if this is all set up, does it pay off to a big build?
Well, do we get the fourth? He wants it to be 4 chapters, but he's running out of money, so it might just turn into 3.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
I heard
unless he sells it to a streamer. It's his Paramount too, right? So
why didn't he just make it a streaming series? not a movie.
I'm telling you, this is like, I'm going to do what Taylor Sheridan did, but I am fucking Kevin Costner. But what he did, listen, it's not dumb what he did. All right.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner was not like, he was washed up. Fucking Yellowstone comes out, makes a big fucking comeback. Right.
Yeah.
And at its peak, parlays what he's got left, cashes in what cred he's got left to go film like a passion project. And uses a bunch of his own money, gets his other people to fund it. I get it. I totally get it. I think you could have found time to shoot like 8 more episodes to finish out Yellowstone. And yeah, I don't know if he lives to regret that or not, but you had one of the biggest shows in the world, and now the main star just bails out because he doesn't get along with the showrunner anymore. That's pretty much it. And he went off to go do his own thing. And, COVID and the strike fucked a lot of shit up.
Yeah.
But they didn't like each other. So it's a big ego battle in Hollywood of 2 massive egos, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But yeah, that's what he did. He's like, this is my last chance to get a movie made that I can direct and star in and get a bunch of money. I'm going to do it now. Business-wise, it makes total sense. Total sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be there. Like I want to see it in the end, but
well, I think Taylor Sheridan will be fine because I'm almost done watching Yellowstone. I got to watch. We're starting season 5, right? And the prequels are a better show. Both prequels are better, and Tulsa King's better. So Taylor Sheridan can go do that stuff. Tulsa King's the shit. It is great. Watch Tulsa King. We get season 2, September 15th. We got Cobra Kai coming back.
Oh, that trailer looks good.
The thing I'm most excited about, Zack Snyder's extended cuts of Rebel Moon. No.
Oh, by the way, I got tickets to see the extended cut in a theater with a Q&A with Zack Snyder.
Both of them or one?
What?
One. The first one.
Because you be in there all fucking day. Are you going to go?
I bought tickets. I'm going.
Oh,
Zack Snyder will be there doing a Q&A. I'll film it.
Could you ask him if he's still associated or affiliated with Geeks and Gamers? That would be the question.
I will wear a Geeks and Gamers t-shirt.
You should. You better.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
That's what I'll do.
Yes. I would do that. I would definitely do that. We got Squid Game coming later this year. So there's some good TV coming. There's some good streaming shows coming. I don't know about movies outside of Deadpool and Wolverine, which looks pretty fucking good.
Joker 2, Joker 2.
Could be good.
Debatable.
Wicked.
War of the Rohirrim. Not super excited about it anymore.
Have you seen a trailer yet?
No, but
anything?
It's not going to be about Helm Hammerhand. It's going to be about his fucking daughter.
Oh, God.
Fuck.
Oh, man. Lame.
Caddis for 5 British pounds, proper money. We hope Chris is doing well health-wise. The beard looks amazing, by the way. Health and happiness to all of the fellowship. Hail to you.
Thank you. I'll take it.
We're going to get to Super Chats, but real quick, because it's in our title. House of the Dragon. We're 3 episodes in. We in 1 episode, we've gotten more story than all of the Acolyte. And you know what? And Ahsoka. Let's put Ahsoka in there too.
Sure.
So 1 fucking episode, more shit happens. There's more character development than 2 shows from Disney Star Wars.
We talked yesterday. That final scene in episode 3 is just 2 women in a church talking.
Oh, it was so good though.
That scene had so much drama, so much weight. It was better than anything Disney Star Wars has ever done in a scene that pays off everything from last season. In that scene, I won't get specific, but it blew my mind, that scene.
So that was not in the book, right? And we discussed it, Mahler and Fringy and Ryan and I discussed it. It was a very difficult thing to set up. The writers had kind of painted themselves into a corner. This scene needed to happen but it was really contrived, like how they got there. So that bothered me a bit.
It didn't bother me
at all. It made no sense. It made no sense in the show. But when you get to that scene, it's good, especially when the impact it has, the seriousness, but there is a genuine, and it's supposed to be funny. It was supposed to be funny. Like you were supposed to laugh at that point because we have this giant civil war that would have happened anyway. But it basically was kicked off because the fucking Targaryens name all their kids after other Targaryens. There's like 7 Targaryen names and they just rotate through and everybody wants to be Aegon, right? So we find out that basically Alicent Hightower finds out that she heard what she wanted to hear from Viserys at the end of season 1 by thinking that Viserys wanted to put her son on the Iron Throne over Rhaenyra, which he never backed down from his entire life. And Rhaenyra goes, "Wait, you heard him say Aegon?" "Yeah, and Prince that was promised." She goes, "What? He spoke to you about the Song of Ice and Fire?" And she's all, "What?" "He's speaking of Aegon the Conqueror." And she goes, "Aegon the Conqueror?" And that little look on her face is fucking golden. It's so good. So yeah, war is already, and they were trying to stop the war, which it was too fucking late at that point. We've already had, 2 sons die. We've already had 2 houses basically almost slaughter each other. And this is how things go sideways in A Song of Ice and Fire. Those 2 houses, the Brackens and the Blackwoods, fucking hated each other anyway. They're the Hatfields and the McCoys of Westeros. And they essentially started the fighting in the war, the open fighting. And it's going to be on from this point. So again, some of the people wanted it paced a little better. It wasn't that they were, we saw this in the chat, like not necessarily battles, but they just needed it. They needed more to happen. But I would say, let's find, we could judge it, I think, after the 4th episode. And if they don't get shit going by next episode, that'd probably be a pretty valid criticism. And not saying it's not valid now, but you're getting a battle next episode. So I'll leave it at that. And I don't want to build it up too much because I built up blood and cheese.
I did. You did. But it's a slow burn. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. There was one action sequence, trying to get to the forest before the dragon got to them.
Yeah, which made sense. Like, that's another thing that wasn't in the book. But if you have a bunch of dragons, I can't believe George left this out. You would have people scouting. There would be, the dragon riders would definitely be aerial surveillance.
Right.
And that was Bela, Damon's daughter, was riding around and she saw Kristen Cole, who was chasing down Gawain Hightower. So we finally got Gawain. Now, Gawain did make an appearance. It wasn't the same actor in the first episode of season 1. That's the Hightower that Sir Kristen Cole beat the shit out of. And so they don't like each other. So you have all these factions, and you have Rhaenyra not making a fucking decision. You have Rhaenys out there walking around all pompous, like, well, all these men starting the war. When even Damon brought it up in the show, it's like, well, you could have ended it immediately by, instead of stomping on a bunch of small folk, you could have just killed the Greens right there in episode 9. So, the intrigue is good. The characterization is great. The actor playing Kristen Cole is great because he's a fucking prick. King of the simps and a fucking prick. And I like the episode previous, the fight between the Cargill twins was awesome. It's good shit. Yeah. So for anybody dude, A Song of Ice and Fire there's feminist moments in it. But George always lays out that this is a feudalist society, and it's how women are able to survive in this feudalist society. But it doesn't shit on all the men, and all the women aren't like these fucking Mary Sues. They're actually really fucking stupid sometimes and evil as fuck, and manipulative. And it's it's like, well, I have the clip right here. Rhys Ifans describes what the show is perfectly.
Ooh, let's see.
Here it is.
Both sides are genocidal, crazy war criminals. So I think we should all enjoy seeing how they die.
That's great.
The big difference, I've said, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but this was my concern about the show before it started. Right, A Song of Ice and Fire has great dialogue. What the thing George is best at is dialogue, especially with Tyrion. Tyrion dialogue is just fucking spot on. Jaime dialogue is fucking great. There's so many great lines. There's like off characters who have great speeches. The Broken Man speech, or what the Northmen, basically how they want to go out, how they want to die. There's a great speech that's spoken to Asha Greyjoy. I'm forgetting the character's name right now. And it's basically like, hey, we just want to go down with our enemy's blood on our tongue and on our axe. And it's such a great speech. The speech of the Broken Man is fucking great too. Great anti-war speech. But we don't have that in House of Dragon. There's some dialogue, but there's not much. And it's just describing events. And it's a dark fucking story. There's levity in Game of Thrones. There's actually funny shit that happens in Game of Thrones. And you need that levity in something this dark, right? This story is just fucking dark. It is dark. And how they're going to mix in. Well, actually, it's been Matt Smith. Daemon Targaryen has been the levity. When he took Harrenhal, that was funny, but there was something I didn't catch. There's something I did not catch. So he was expecting this big battle, right? And it doesn't happen. And the Castellan just goes, "Oh yeah, we've been waiting for you. Bent the knee, no problem. You want some venison?" And he's like, "Damn it, I wanted to fight."
Yeah.
But as he's walking around the castle, there's a voice going, "Damon. So Harrenhal's supposed to be haunted, right? And it might be. That's the thing, is what we haven't had in the show yet is any magic, any supernatural, other than, the prophetic dreams. But we haven't had any real supernatural instance. There was a behind the scenes with Helena, Queen Helena. So she's graffitied her entire room, right? And it tells the story of a Game of Thrones all through her entire room. It shows the boar. It shows a Rob with his wolf head on and shit. And that's all in the background. So, and apparently in the show, and it doesn't really explain this in the book, she has a hard time deciphering reality from her dreams. Like, she's always in a constant dream state. So that's why she sounds fucking crazy. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. But we'll see where it goes. It could still shit the bed.
I don't know. Do you think they've learned lessons?
We'll see. Season 2 is when you always find out.
Yeah.
Season 2 is when you find out. Because season 2s are tough. You have more time to work on a season 1. You have more time to work things out. You have more time to reshoot. You can change actors if you need to. By season 2, you can't do any of that. Ryan Kinnell's Gay Subconscious on Streamlabs for $25. Finally, a House of the Dragon episode I could really, really sink my teeth into. I get you. Yeah, there's Eamon.
Hey.
Eamon's floppy.
A lot of it.
Jesse George for 10 Canadian pesos. Maybe a shallow take on House of the Dragon, but it needs more TNA. Make it T and great again. It does need some more. It's gone soft on a couple of things, which I was disappointed.
It was very soft looking.
Oh, wow.
Not that soft in the one scene.
Enoch Ramon, abuser of Streamlabs for $5. If you're not going to join me, I'd like to put my clothes back on. Something tells me Chris has used that line more than once.
It doesn't really work. It doesn't. Not as effective as you would think. What a weird thing to be in Star Wars.
I know.
Like, that was awkward. It wasn't.
Sam Wallace Art for $5. Being trapped with your parents for 21 years is hard. X-Ray Girl just missed things. Leave her alone.
Thanks.
True. Mike for $9.99. No, by the way. Going to see the Pirates and the Cardinals play tomorrow after getting shaved ice. Love America. Hail. Got to do it to feel like a man again after the Acolyte. Hell yeah. Go watch some baseball, get some hot dogs.
Oh.
Hell yeah. Blockhead Wesley Headgrand for $2.99 Australian. Want to know where the 180 milli went? To my head, Gary. Ah, there you go. Jesse Meek for $5. X-Ray Girl is from Canada. I should have seen through that. Yuck, yuck, yuck. What's Canada? That's just America's hat, says Tomok for $10. That's true. Flint AEA for $5 says Slapshot Strange Brew Young Blood. Yeah, Slapshot too. That's another well-known Canadian.
I love the original Slapshot.
I do too.
Is that like hockey?
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you Canadian and don't know hockey?
No, I know hockey. I just didn't know this movie.
Have you been to a hockey game?
No, I think hockey is dangerous. It is a lot of
People have died
concussions.
from getting pucks to the head. Yes.
I have maybe had like players at the hospital. Maybe.
Okay.
So
that explains it.
I can't talk about it.
Thomas A. Matthew for 200 yen. Hi, Gary. Or not yen. Sorry. Indian pesos. Hi, Gary. Fan from India. Please review Avasham in Prime. It was a blockbuster hit. It is a gangster comedy movie. It is from a regional movie industry, which is considered to be the best one from India. Have you heard of Avasham? Chris?
I have not heard of Avasham. I just saw the movie Kill, which is like an Indian John Wick on a train. And I saw last week Kalki 2898 AD, which is a sci-fi. It's a goofy sci-fi movie like Flash Gordon from India. I have not heard of Avasham.
We'll have to check it out. It's on Prime. It's on Prime Video.
I'll look it up now.
Golden Nuggets for 10 British pounds proper money. Though my cancer is gone. Good. They had to remove a part of my intestine. Oh, shit.
Oh,
last 9 months, been a colostomy. I've had a colostomy bag while recovering. Now reversal is in sight, and I can finally lead a normal life. Hail, go. Hail. Hail. At least you're around. Damn it. At least you're around. Eric K for $2. You're Canadian. How do you not know John Candy from Eric K?
Yeah.
Did this movie come out before the 90s?
Yes.
It's just
Well, John
that's why.
Candy died in 1994.
Okay, I was 4 years old when he passed away.
Okay, but somebody would have brought it up in conversation. You haven't seen
No
Uncle? You haven't seen Uncle Buck?
No.
You need to see Uncle Buck.
Okay. Okay, Dad.
Uncle Buck is awesome.
I'll put that in the list.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I probably
You need to
should
see
watch that.
too. Yes. B Chain 315 for $10. Hail Gary, Gore, and X-Ray X-Ray Girl.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry. Have you guys seen on any Sunday the motorcycle racing documentary from 1971? Yes, I have actually. Yes. Also, this weekend is Red Bud Motocross, a 4th of July weekend classic in Michigan. Yes, on any Sunday. I have seen on any Sunday. Have you, Chris?
Yes, I have.
Lord Botha for $9.99. You guys see the Screen Rant article saying Sith has been retconned to be the N-word for Dark Jedi?
Oh, it's so dumb.
I've got a question.
What?
Do you call them Sitha? Or is there a hard H rule? So many questions.
Someone should do a cartoon of the Sith and his apprentice talking to each other. Ugh. I won't do that.
Yeah. Albert, not a retro for 5 Canadian pesos. Canada doesn't follow you. We're first to all the important wars, while you Yanks stick your heads in the ground and wait for Japan to personally invite you. And what a difference. What difference did you make when you were there before us? You still needed us, didn't you? But that's cute, Canada. You send your 5 troops to a war, you know.
You got a participation trophy for that one.
The Sorry Brigade.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry I shot you in the head. Kane 391 for $4.99. Chris, love the beard, bro. You look like Deathstroke. You just need an eye patch.
I'll take it.
There you go.
I'm literally Deathstroke. So there you go.
Nikki Ice for $10. The Green Lady is horrific at acting. Horrific. Oh, you mean lesbian headlamp's wife. I don't know if it's the fault of the actor or the director or the actress herself, but holy shit, she is awful. Close second as the lead character. Agreed. Bretica 6 for $2. Light scissors beat light whip. I agree. WG for $25. Gary, my dad was an extra in the movie Slapshot. He met Paul Newman and was in the pregame fight scene. True story, eh? Ah, cool.
That is a great movie. That is a great sports movie.
It is.
I love Slapshot.
I do too.
Get some snatch. Remember that?
Yes. WG for 50. Happy delayed Canada Day to X-Ray Girl. Happy Independence Day to you and Chris. All the best. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Have a good time tomorrow. Cold brew for $10. I love the Nooner. I think it's better than the real BBC and FNT. Okay, thank you. I can listen for hours of you two shooting the shit. Chris Gore, you have so much wisdom. You need to find a way to be on Joe Rogan.
Oh, I never even thought about that. I don't think my life's I don't think my life's that interesting. So, I mean, maybe with starting Film Threat, but I don't know. I've met Joe Rogan. He used to come by the G4 offices. He was on Attack of the Show a bunch of times. Yeah, I do it. I think you should be on Rogan, Gary. Why did I say Jerry? Gary.
That's what Tardo calls him.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lock it in. Yay.
Maybe your stroke made you retarded.
Yeah, for sure. Your life is so interesting. You gotta be on Rogan. When that book comes out, I mean, you know, if there's a way, get on that show. I think Rogan.
I think you'd be great on Rogan, too.
I'd love to see you on there. Love to see you on that show.
We should both go on Rogan. That'd be fun.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
If you go.
Just up the road. Just up the road. 45 minutes.
I'll hang in the green room. Chill out.
Come on the show.
Well, when's that book coming out?
We're in the finishing stages. So I'm shooting for around the holidays.
Okay, quick question. Quick, I know we're doing supers. Is there a way to do a Kickstarter for your book? Or Eric July is now allowing his platform to it's all it is a pre-order. So people get maybe something extra, a signed copy, a bookmark, a little gifty, whatever.
Yeah.
Pre-order it. You know exactly how many to print. You could use, if you heard Eric July, he's opened his platform. Very selective, though. He's curating. You could do your book through his platform.
Through Ripascend.
Yes.
So I may have talked to Eric about that.
You already have.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, do it because you can buy the book on Amazon. That's fine.
Yeah, it'll be on.
It's something special.
Yeah. So what we're gonna probably do is do a limited print run of a pre-order, right? And make I got to talk to the publisher, but maybe make it signed, make it a little different than what you could just get on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and stuff. That would be the plan, and do a pre-order. But I would pay for that extra print run. So they give me some books for like signings and stuff, and I'll pay for some more, so we can do the pre-order. That my only stipulation is we want to get an idea of the I'm going to guess because I want that shit printed and ready to go when the pre-order goes. So So you're just waiting on shipping, receiving time. Take the order, put it in its little box, and send it out. That's all the time the person, any potential customer would be waiting.
You got to do, Gary, you have to do a centerfold that you fold in like the old Mad magazines. So it's a picture here, you fold it in, it's a different picture like the old Mad magazines. Why not do that?
That'd be pretty cool. I'd have to think about that, but that'd be pretty cool.
I love those.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So we got a little time, but yeah, it's we're shooting for, I think the publisher wanted September. I would prefer like October, November, but it's kind of up to them. Once, we have deadlines. They're soft deadlines.
It will be their best selling book.
I don't know about
period, bar none. Best selling book.
I don't know about that, but it was definitely an interesting process going over aspects of my life that weren't great. So, yeah. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. Had a lot of cool people helping. I read Cold Brews already, right? But thank you, Chris. And yeah, we're definitely gonna do some sort of pre-order. But I want to stress that it's not going to be anything you're going to be waiting for. The books will be printed.
Oh, but wait, one last question about the book. Audiobook?
Yes, there's going to be an audiobook.
Are you reading the whole thing?
I'd like to get somebody else to do it, but I think I should do it. So
some audiobooks I've listened to that are like biographies, other people read certain chapters to give it variety. So,
considering, I kind of like the Adam Carolla idea that you talked about. It's like, I'm going to riff on it.
Yes. Yeah. That's what he does. I've got
make it a little different. Yeah.
Carolla audiobook. He reads it, but he goes, I'm going to tell you other stories, or just he'll riff. Yeah. It's not a word by word read.
Yeah. That's the plan. And that'll be a little later down the line.
Have Drunk 3PO read a chapter.
There you go.
Just as a goof.
Oh, yeah.
I love Jay.
You never know. Love Jay. Pash Getty on the Streamlabs side for $20. 51-year-old former Star Wars fan here. Ex-comic book store owner. Oh, shit. All right.
Wow.
Current musician. I made this Disney is faking gay tune. Thanks for all the laughs. Hope this returns the favor. There's a link there. We also have an animated thing to show, don't we, X-Ray Girl?
Ooh.
We do, for the end of the show. Let me get through some soups, and you might want to get that ready. Take a look at that link. Oh, it's on X. There you go. It's on X.
No, it's on YouTube.
No, what he said. What the super chat.
I'm not familiar with the background tune, so just let me know if it's something.
Yeah, well, no. Don't play that. Yeah. Oh, is this the? Yeah. Check it out first. Sorry, but
I did. I did. I just.
If you're not familiar, then let me check it out.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'll pop that in there.
I want to see it.
Here. I dropped it in the chat.
Thanks.
You let me know. I can read a few for you if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris from Michigan for 10 says, not for 12-year-olds. Remember what WB told us. 12 is the new 16. That's creepy. Quentin for $1.99 says, Osha Vader! Episode 6, The Stun Gun Strikes Back. Nullface for $4.99. If Chris starts saying RRR, don't worry. It's not a stroke. It's just one of his favorite movies. And Mark Demshock for $5 says, first time catching Nooner live. Glad to see Disney's attempts on Chris's life failed. His backup restore successful. And X-Ray finally remembered where home was. Yeah, I did. Glad Chris is back. Nikki Ice for 10 says, you can say the prequels are bad movies, but they at least have cool and bad things within them that makes them unique. The sequels have nothing bland and lame. Oh, they can totally hear the music.
Oh, they can?
Oh.
I thought I hit mute.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I guess the chat heard it. Yeah. Okay. Unknown for $1.99 says Darth Not So Hung. Y'all are size queens. You want to read them again, Gary? Oh no, wait, Gary's muted now.
You read it.
Okay, I'll read the first one again. Tony WDW for 25 says the green lady belongs on a can of peas. And oh god, Asian Par McCartney.
Yeah, you do
on the
this.
Streamlabs for $25. When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, Riv and Ret Riv. You know you did, you know you did, you know you did. But if this ever-changing world in which we Riven makes you give in and cry, say Riv and Ret die. Oh God.
Riv and Ret die.
Angie Cram for $50 says, thanks for the adult conversation, Gary, Chris, and X-Ray Girl. Thank you.
Adult?
We
Some might
tried.
argue.
We tried. Odin79 on the Streamlabs side for $10. When they whine, what do they want? All I can say is look up Star Wars, but it has Doom music. Just the SWTOR trailer set to the Doom soundtrack. F Disney Star Wars. I quit at Rogue One. It was mid and showed they had no plan.
Hard to argue with that. Rudy for $5. Leslie, using her experience with Harvey for the nude scene, maybe Hollywood keeps making sympathetic villains so they feel justified. Well, that's kind of what Chris was talking about. There's a lot of projection in this. There's a lot of self-insert because it's fucking fanfic. Like they're making $180 million fanfic.
They don't understand because they don't hold these values, core values themselves. So they can't write it. They can't do it. They don't understand what it means to be selfless or what it means to be heroic. And I do think I see a lot of separation when I see like people who are parents and people who are not parents. If you're a good parent, you think less about yourself and more about the family, and in particular, your kids. And a lot of these people, they don't have kids. They don't know what it means to be selfless.
Yeah,
So
Russell T. Davies making stuff for kids. He ain't got no kids.
Yeah, he
No
doesn't
fucking
understand.
idea.
No wonder it sucks.
Kids are a caricature to him. And to a lot of people in entertainment, they're fucking accessories. They have no idea. They don't raise their own fucking kids.
You read my mind. Like accessories, like I have kids. And that you just because you have kids doesn't mean you're a parent.
No.
You're a good father or a good mother. Those are the two choices.
Joe Eager for $30. Don't work too hard over the 4th. Well, I won't. Garrett will, though. I'm going to work hard tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Air quotes. Lee Anthony Davis, for $9.99 British pounds, proper money. I would like to ask the panel, do you agree with me that Doctor Who Series 3 will not be made? And as you know, it all rides on Disney's continuing to fund it, and Disney are on their way to going bankrupt. Oh, they're not on their way to going bankrupt. But I will say that because Inside Out 2 made $1 billion, but I would still say they're in the red as far as their entertainment division, easily. They've lost with their budgets out of control, and but it's all part of one big pot. They still make a lot of money off their parks, their cruises, and other ventures that help fund this. I don't think, considering Disney will cancel shit, they pulled Willow completely. I do not think we'll get a Doctor Who Series 3. No, I do not. I think we get 2 and it's done. And that's that second one that comes out will be a fart in the wind. Nobody will know about it. They might faint smell. There'll be a faint horrible smell, and then it'll go away.
Albert Disparu will know about it. And a real quick thing on that, with Az leaving FNT, you were like, I want someone else in that position. I want another Brit, just like Kirk wanted another Vulcan in the science officer position in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. You were just like Kirk, Gary.
Yes.
Another Brit. Give me another Brit.
Give me another Brit.
Az's place. So funny.
Who's Az? Albert, not a retro for 5 Canadian pesos. The Jedi who turned his back on May, thinking she was Osha, is the C2 master hiding amongst the Jedi like a wolf in the fold.
Yeah.
So the only plausible explanation is he knew and he wasn't worried. Why wouldn't he be worried? She killed 2 Jedi. Yes, she talked one into killing himself, but she's responsible for the death of 2 Jedi. Matthew Facsheen for 1993 for 10 Canadian pesos. You guys make fun of Canada a lot, but I'm going to tell you something. You invade Canada, you're not going any further than the border. It's going to be like Vietnam 10 times for you guys. Why would we invade Canada?
It's too cold.
Yeah.
They only have hockey. Canadian football is a joke. Maybe Doug Flutie. He's a big Batman fan.
Hail Doug Flutie. We love Doug Flutie. There's a lot of Canadians. Fucking William Shatner is Canadian. Okay.
Yeah, there's
a lot of great Canadians out there. Okay. Rush, Canada.
Yeah, Rush.
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta.
Justin Bieber,
go.
Canadian.
Bredicka 6 for $2. Star Boars, the Saccoshite. Exactly. Megatoby 09 for $9.99 British pounds, proper money. New to this channel, absolutely loving it. Question: if you were to make your own Star Wars series to save the franchise, what would it be? I would start by saying everything you've seen since Return of the Jedi does not count. Doesn't count. Wipe it from your head. And then I would go 500 years in the future. And I would start with that template. Like there's a republic, there's some sort of menace. And this has been done in the EU, by the way, but I really like the idea of an, kind of like the others in the Song of Ice and Fire. So you have the Sith as the power of 2 aren't around, but there's still people who practice the dark arts, we'll say. And there's a new crop of Jedi. And I love the fact of them having to work together to fight something that's even darker. You come up with a new villain. You just come up with a new villain. And that's just me sitting here thinking about now there's better ideas. And again, this has been done in the EU. I would do that. Travis AM, and just, you could reference the old Skywalkers, but there's no Skywalkers around, and you just got a new cast of characters, and you really focus on those characters and you make them interesting. Travis AM for $5. Smilo Ren had a Force boner. Samuel Eriton for $9.99. You can't write moral stories when you follow moral relativism. How can you tell if anything is good when everything is permissible? Good point. Dirt Bike for $4.99. At the very least, Ryan should be temporarily shunned for saying tits aren't really necessary in Hot D. How dare him? But his point was, they're not necessary, but they are. Kind of like, saying, it is necessary for, and he came back on that. It is necessary for House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. It's part of it. But you just don't want, it's like spectacle. You don't want to overuse the tits, but you do have to have some tits once in a while. Sure, certainly. Taker 610 for $2. Jay called Basil the pronoun beaver. That's a good name.
Yeah, that is a good name.
Raslin Majari for $5. If he knew the whole time Soul, then he left Osha in the unknown state on the planet. Yeah, for one, how did you like Unknown Planet instead of just giving it a name? There has to be a purpose to that. Unknown Planet.
It was Hawk-Twa. That was Hawk-Twa. Wait,
Yep.
I can't do it. X-Ray Girl, can you do it?
Oh, God.
No.
She's starting a podcast now. It's like, oh,
That ain't for free.
women have to work so harder. It's so much harder. Such a patriarchal society. Women are just subjugated to say they'll spit in a cock and then they get a podcast. Pash Getty on the Streamlabs side for $10. Great mute, Gary. No worries. The track has no copy. The track has no copy. Don't want to get crucified. Music industry is even more fake and gay. Yes, they are. Hope you can get a giggle. Best from the EU. Bredicus 6. Basil is a badger Biden. Rye the guy for $5. Y'all clearly don't understand the angst of Emo Ren. He's in so much pain that his hair stays in front of his eyes so he can hide from the world. He is Emo Ren. That is true. Flint AEA for $2. Alfie education robot made by Hasbro. Alfie education robot. Zeus Play for $5. The two sisters in the show look like Chris and Cross from the 90s. I need them to do a song. Jump. LOL. Oh, what? Chris?
Hilarious.
Yes, Chris Cross. Fiesta Cat for $4.99. Last week, we got the Dead Jedi playset. This week, we get the Sith cock in a pawn playset. Yes. With shrinkage action. Blockhead Wesley Head Grand for $2.99 Australian. Chris Gore, Kathleen Kennedy with a BBL. Eric K for $2. The OSHA is always right. This is true. Especially, if you're OSHA certified. Cash, a cost for $5. They even ripped off Agent Smecker from the Boondock Saints. Detective reconstructs a fight scene and gets more things right, except the most crucial part. Yep. Boondock Saints. Hell of a movie. Randy Gnomes for $5. Culture matters. That's why they want it. Yep. Uncle Danny for $2. Just finished the coffee table. Holy shit, Chris.
Yes. Good. I'm glad. I'm sure you enjoyed it.
Cash Akos for $5. I read that one. Daystars on the Streamlabs side for $3. What's the over under of Master versus Apprentice, Nepo versus Smilo, and Smilo catches her whip wrapped around his gauntlet, Indiana Jones style, and to short it out? It's got to happen, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, Master Nepo's not in a lot of scenes, so could she have left? I mean, I don't know.
Well, there's only 1 hour left.
Yeah, there's only 1 hour left with 2 episodes. Space Digger for $2. Asian and cold water dude was not having a good day. Pablo Papano for $5. They gave franchises to indie filmmakers who make films for a tiny audience. Yes. Speaking of tiny, they had a scene referring to that in the last episode of the Acolyte. White Knight Leo for $2. Force ghosts don't exist in this time period. No, they don't. Eric K for $2. Ewoks ate stormtroopers. Damn little cannibals. Yeah. And Wookiees ate porg. No Face for $1.99. I only care about the adventures of Wormy Lars. Michael Arona 741 for $1.99. Is anyone asking about money laundering? 250 million, 180 million. Still asking about money laundering. And yes, that goes on every day in Hollywood. There's Hollywood economics. They don't get busted for it because they are rich and powerful. Martin Kohler for $5. Palpatine's granddaughter, Ray Kennedy. Silent JMR 25 for $1.99. Spoiler alert. Viking Beach Bum for $2. Manny Jacinto said, look at my dong. Look at my dong. Kung Fu Hot Dog for $2. Happy 4th of July. Gary, What mic are you using? I forgot the name of this. It's a LCT 240 Pro. So it's made by the people who used to work at Shure, went out, took the same technology, made their own shit. Used to be here in Texas, by the way. And it's about $300 cheaper. And it's rock solid. It's rock solid. Born Sinner. Isn't it for $4.99? Isn't it crazy they have been indulging George, and instead of taking inspiration from the sequels that no one likes, they have been dissing George. Not indulging. They've been dissing George. Yes. They've been dissing George because they don't care.
Yeah.
That's the Hollywood way. You tell the people whatever they want to hear. You won't do any of the work because a lot of creatives like to cut corners, and they sell themselves, particularly Leslie Headland, on bullshit when they don't really have the skill. But as Chris mentioned before, she's a good people person. She can get along with people. She can get along with people at parties. She's very good at politicking the Hollywood environment and getting what she wants. She just doesn't have any talent to back it up. As with proof of, and I'm using her words, the most important art she has ever created, The Acolyte. She doesn't even believe that. I'm kidding. I love both the U.S. and Canada. I love living in Canada, but traveling to the States always makes me feel a little more free, says Matthew Facsheen for $19.93 for $5. Oh, you can back up your roast.
I agree.
Plenty to roast us about. Like
You
our
have
cities.
Biden.
We have Biden as a president. Our cities are fucking demilitarized zones or zombie apocalypses or both. Like all of our cities. Like even the nice ones, not so nice anymore. The one thing missing from Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F., the tent cities in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, they're there. It's weird.
Anyone seen the trailer for the new Count of Monte Cristo, rated M for $1.99? No, I have not. Have you, Chris?
I have not.
I will watch it.
I would want to watch it.
D Breezy for $4.99 got an Obama ad before joining the stream, begging me to donate $5 to a corpse and a clown. That's funny. I do not endorse donating to any. Donate to whoever the fuck you want. I have never sent money to a politician, ever. The closest I came, and it's only because I just didn't have time, was Brandon Herrera. And I hope he runs for re-election, because I will donate money. Wish I could drop a comment on that and tell him to fuck off. You could do it right here. Fuck off. Biden. Fuck off, Biden. Albert Nada Retro for 5 Canadian pesos. You need to read some Canadian history, especially World War I, World War II, and Korea. We didn't need you. We graciously allowed you to join. See, roast us.
Roasted.
Yeah, we didn't need the Canadians. Okay, that's cute. It's like the Australians showing up. It's like, oh, look, the guys who got their ass whooped by a bunch of birds are here to help us. Hey, can you wash dishes? I'm just kidding, Australians. I'm just kidding. We were non-interventionists for a long time. Like we just got finished fighting ourselves. We were still grabbing land. We were non-interventionists. Plus, especially in like, was it World War I, we had a bunch of like the progressive bullshit was starting. Yeah. And we were fucking warned about Pearl Harbor. We were absolutely warned. We knew it was coming. We needed that excuse to sell it to the people. And we allowed it to happen. There's a Gulf of Tonga. There's all kinds of bullshit. Yeah, our hands are not clean at all. Still love living here, though.
Oh, yeah.
I like owning my property for the most part. Got to pay some property tax, but I have to admit, begrudgingly, I mean, taxation's theft, fuck it. But at least around here, it actually gets used on roads. So most of the roads suck in Texas, but in my neighborhood, they're good. They just did them. they come out and they trim there's lots of fucking trees around here, tons of fucking trees. So they trim the trees regularly. They take care of the wash behind my house regularly. So it's pretty cool. It's a nice, safe neighborhood. I can walk my dog. You know what? I think it was Babylon Bee did a video of the Californians moving to Texas. And one of the jokes about it was the neighbors coming up and knocking on your door and offering your food. And the Californians are like frightened and confused. That happened to us.
Wow.
Like we're in our garage and all our neighbors converge. We had people bring like food. And we're like, what is this? What do you want?
Friendly, know your neighbors. Whoa.
Yeah, know their names. We chat to them. It's like, hey, Bob, hell of a day. Walking the dogs. Everybody waves to each other. It's fucking great. It's America. It's great.
Love it. Love
Fantastic. I was walking in my neighborhood and a little old lady is out there, raking her own leaves, and she was trying to get stuff in the bag. I walked over. I helped her. You walk over because that's what you fucking do. I gave her a little help with her bag, and she thanked me. She was very sweet. That's after living like the crazy life that we were talking about, like, just fucking insanity. I love this shit. I absolutely love it. I'm in heaven. Cannibal the Dragon for $5. Is it sad to me that Star Wars is dead? It should be sad. I mean, we're laughing at it, but it's sad for something that was like, it's part of American culture. Like it's part of the fabric of America is fucking Star Wars. It's an American thing. It's American mythology. And it's sad what happened. It's more sad because it all could have been avoided. Absolutely all could have. All it took was people checking their fucking egos and hiring the right people. Kathleen Kennedy has a massive fucking ego. Has a massive ego. And it's okay if you can back it up. Like Taylor Sheridan, Kevin Costner have massive egos, but they can back their shit up once in a while. So I'm fine with that. If Kathleen Kennedy had a massive ego and was making good Star Wars, good. That doesn't bother. But having a massive ego to the point where you refuse to even admit that you're fucking up and you continue fucking up because of your ego, it just makes you retarded. And that makes me question every movie she produced before that, makes me question, she's considered one of the most prolific producers in Hollywood. So one of these things is true. She was never that great of a producer, or she was just a producer and she should have never been advanced higher than that. It's one of those two.
I dated a girl briefly who was one of her assistants, who said she was very organized and was all about schedules.
Okay, that's great.
Nothing creative, but
Okay, so explain to me how the one who is organized and all about schedules let 70 to 90% of a movie get fucking shot and then fired the directors who went off to win an Academy Award later. How does that happen?
I think she has probably always felt she could be more creative, was never respected for her creative ideas. And this is what you get. Now she can make, creative calls. So there you go.
You know what movie looks good?
What?
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it looks good. It just back to basics.
Yep.
Michael Keaton hasn't lost a step. He looks perfect. He looks perfect.
There was a Spanish trailer out there. I watched a couple of the trailers. I'm like, you know what? That'd probably be pretty good. For another sequel of another 40-year-old franchise. Have you seen on Twitter? Maybe I'm just getting notifications because I'm looking at them. But all the 40-year, 39-year, 44-year anniversaries of all these fucking great movies. We just had the 30th anniversary of The Shadow, right? The 1994 Shadow, underrated movie. It's got that fucking Alec Baldwin. Didn't kill anybody on the set of that movie. But, but all these fucking, 38 years for Big Trouble in Little China. It was a different era. Hollywood has reached maturity. That's the theme of today's episode anyway. Cannibal the Dragon for $5. Hope we see Cannibal the Dragon, by the way. So It Is Sad Star Wars is Dead. I won a contest in 1990 or 2000. I got to be in the Dark Horse Star Wars comic. It was EU. Oh, that's which one? Which one? I'm in a couple comics. That's awesome. Being in a comic, you're immortalized in a comic book. I'm in I got to think about this. The Boys number 23, The Boys number 37, and Happy number 2. In Boys 23, I'm delivering flamethrowers in a splash page in the beginning. Boys 37, I'm on the bridge behind Mother's Milk. And Happy number 2, I'm getting stabbed in the mouth with a scalpel.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always nice. Miss Moneypenny for $10. What's next for Star Wars? Do you see much of a future? What future is there for Star Wars? I mean, it's always going to be around in some form or another, but it's not. Its prominence is dead. Its existence as the biggest IP in the world, a money printing machine, is gone. It will still make them money, but it's turned into. Disney has taken a $1 billion franchise and turned it into $1 million franchise.
True.
So it'll still make money, but not what they paid for. Albert, not a retro for 2 Canadian pesos. Canadians invented football and basketball.
What?
No, it's invited.
Invited, but it's supposed to be invented.
Really?
Why would they invite football and basketball?
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
I don't think we invented football and basketball, did we?
We didn't invent football. Basketball, I think it was.
Oh,
got
okay.
a white guy from Canada. Canadian football was fun to watch when Flutie was around. Bigger fields. I like the Canadian football. I used to love football. Used to live and breathe NFL and my San Diego Chargers, dude.
I still like it, but I'm not. It doesn't run my life or anything. You know?
The only thing that sparks my interest is Jim Harbaugh. Like, that's the first time the Chargers have had a real fucking coach since Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
Like they hired a big boy coach. And I'm like, wow. My son's stoked. My son's a huge Charger fan, so my oldest.
Yeah.
Bendick Star for $4.99. I say make a movie with Knights of the Old Republic starting with Mandalorian Wars. That'd be great. And show how it all the characters got how they were. I that's fine. It's still a prequel. Star Wars needs to move forward. And it's a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You could just go a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. You could just fucking just move it forward. Just move it forward. Or just go, it happened a couple weeks ago in a galaxy far, far away. I don't give a shit. GJ Jigglypuff for $2. Gary and Chris, have you seen the new Hellboy movie trailer? I have. Looks like rated R, low budget horror. Looks good. Mike Mignola is involved with it, like heavily involved with it.
That's a good sign.
I'll watch it. You know what? It'll probably be better than the last Hellboy movie, which was shit. The one with David Harbour. Holy shit.
Oh, it was bad.
But it does look like an indie film, like a straight up indie film. Especially the way the trailer was cut. They did too many repeated shots of Hellboy just turning around and not speaking. But if you notice the shots of Hellboy all look the same. So I would have edited that trailer a little different, but I'll watch it because I'm a Hellboy fan. Absolutely watch it. Theseus Minor for 70 Zardozes. Heroism is a group selected evolved trait. Stories promoting heroism become redundant if they are not tangible enemies. The society becomes lenient with storytellers shitting on religion and heroes. And it's because you come from a very intersectional point of view, which is what Disney is doing. Now, not every studio does that. Some, like a lot of studios do the woke shit, but they don't come, they're not like Sony isn't intersectional. Sony wants to make money. They put in woke shit in there, but Tom Rothman, I highly doubt Tom Rothman is for any of this woke shit, right? Kathleen Kennedy's all about it, but most of Hollywood doesn't believe in any of this shit, what we discussed earlier. Leslie Headland doesn't believe in any of this shit. She's just doing it to get by. But Kathleen Kennedy, true believer. I think that is an intersectionalist true believer. 100%. Chris, what do you got coming up? Oh, wait, we got one more. Sorry. Cryptic for $10. The Canadian who invented basketball was living in the U.S., so semi-true. Football, no. There's a dispute on that. The first game was Princeton versus Rutgers in 1869. Rated M for $1.99. Long Kiss Goodnight was a fun movie. Wish they EFAP'd it. I'll pass it on to Mahler. Chris, what do you got coming up?
Hollywood on the Rocks with Ing the Merciless, Alan Ing. And if I could plug something real quick, if you don't mind.
Our meetup?
Or
something else?
Meetup, well, all the tickets
sold
are sold
out.
out. It's
right.
sold out for the meetup.
Okay.
But we are... Wait, that's not what I wanted to show. Just a second.
God.
So you want to show that?
No. I meant to show this. Sorry about that, Gary. That was I have a story about that. I'll tell it next week. But we have Feudal for franchise Wednesday, July 17th, the day after the Acolyte finale, our funeral, and we're doing this week only on the Film Threat shop. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. We have X-Ray Girl modeling our exclusive shirt. The offer code Star Wars is dead. Get 15% off anything in the shop. Get a mug or a t-shirt. X-Ray Girl looks good modeling that.
Yeah.
Looks a little different.
Celebrate the legacy.
The hair.
So go there. Star Wars is dead is the offer code. So thank you for all your support. That funeral is going to be fun. I assume you're going to pop on for a minute.
Well,
Gary, do a eulogy. Do a eulogy for Star Wars.
Absolutely. That's when is that again? The 17th of July.
Yeah, Wednesday, July 17th. After the nooner.
Yeah.
I'm doing that show.
All right, we'll rate it.
A lot of people, rate it. And we'll have fun.
That's right before Comic-Con. I'm checking out the Comic-Con. Okay.
It's a week before Comic-Con.
So yeah, our meetup is, I guess, the RSVPs are all taken. There might be a waiting list. You got to talk to Gabe El Taib, Big Man Comics. We're also going to be doing a signing at his table. I got to get back with him on what day that is going to be, but Garrett and I will be signing at his table. It's not even really sign. Just come up and say hi. That's all. Just come up.
Booth 1705.
Booth 1705.
Yeah.
I have my pass right here. Dude, so unimaginative this year. Like,
let's see.
It's just a fucking Paramount Plus logo. Yeah.
It is lame. Put a Nerdrotic sticker on the top.
I'm gonna put it right over it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lame.
That's lame. Whoops. Drop a little pressy thing. And it's cool because I've got some family in town too. So I'll be able to hang out with my little sister and my nieces and get my niece into her first Comic-Con. That'll be very exciting. Very
You know what you should do? Get an outfit where you have a long trench coat and put her like in it.
The problem is she's a little taller for that. She's all my nieces are super sporty, athletic, play volleyball and all that stuff. Actually, one got in on a scholarship to San Diego State, and yeah. So now when I wear my Aztec hats, like I've got family.
Nice.
Going to San Diego State. Yeah. So yeah, she's tall. She's very tall.
Cool.
And that's gonna I can't wait. I can't wait. I always say at the beginning of the year, I'm probably gonna skip con this year. And it gets closer. It's like, I get to go home, have carne asada burritos, visit my mom, hang out with Chris Gore and see everybody else fucking go.
Oh, I can't wait for Comic-Con week. It'll be fun. I might have a floater badge to help out with the fam.
Thanks, buddy.
So let me know. We'll talk.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
X-Ray Girl, what do you got coming up?
I have a gaming stream later on today where I'm going to show all the goods that I got from the trip. And then Poor Choices at 9 p.m. Eastern. There's a couple more super chats. Do you want me to read them?
Read them.
Okay.
They want you to read them for sure.
No, they don't. They like you way more. Matthew Machine for $20 says, hot take, Conan the Barbarian is better than Lord of the Rings. Sounds like I'm fighting words.
I don't agree with that. I love them both. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, they're totally different. But
Yeah.
as far as building a fantasy world, Robert E. Howard did it first. I mean, well, technically. All right. Tolkien was working on this world from when he was very young. But yeah, that's comparing. That is very much apples and oranges.
Yeah.
That is very much apples and oranges. They're both fucking great. How's that sound?
Okay. Poway Pow for $10 says RSVP to the San Diego meetup. Love Basic. Looking forward to it. Watch Deadpool 2 again on your recommendation. Good stuff. Best comedy in the last 5 years.
Yep. True.
Oh, they were
True.
asking what was your best comedy in the last 5 years?
Oh, 5 years?
Yeah.
Acolyte.
Yeah.
Followed closely by the Marvels.
Oh, She-Hulk
Yeah.
was funny.
And She-Hulk, but not like, you're talking about intentional comedy. Stand-up. Some of the best stuff has been stand-up. Some of the Dave Chappelle, Ricky Gervais. But movies that have been like...
I enjoyed Bad Boys 4, was it?
Yeah, that was pretty
4?
funny, but
That
that's
was
not like
funny.
an outright comedy. There hasn't been a good outright comedy in the last 5 years. There just hasn't been one.
Kajo for 5 British pounds says, did you see the magical space oil? It disappeared without a trace 3 seconds after being squirted in May's eye.
After Pip splooges in May's eye.
Oh,
So dumb.
maybe she hawked it. Gross.
I want that meme to go away as fast as possible.
Bendex
sick
Star
of it.
for $4.99. I can respect that opinion. I just want to see massive battles with tons of Jedis and Sith fighting with some good stories. Hell yeah. Jersey Dyers for $6.99 Canadian. Lord of the Rings, probably the last production that was most Commonwealth plus US. Cast, crew, writers, music, US, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Felt like a fight for the Western values. Okay. I didn't know it was that diverse. Ronzilla for $4.99. Morning. The Acolyte has a new R&B single, The Power of Two. First ever Star Wars R&B single. LOL. Anyone heard it yet?
No.
Albert, not a retro for 5 Canadian. We invented them, X-Ray Girl. And this time, vote with your brain, not your hoo-hoo. No, I won't vote with my hoo-ha. I promise. That's it.
Great.
Cool
I'll
beans.
see you next week, Gary and X-Ray Girl. See you both on FNT. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll be watching. Can't wait. Love the show. The new as-free, it's an as-free zone is what FNT is now. And I can't wait for FU FNT as a stream. That's great.
FNT.
FUFNT. Yep. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take a little break. Get on my Acolyte. Gotta see this fucking through. Jesus.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, like my OCD won't allow not to finish it at this point, so we'll do every episode. I don't do that often anymore. I usually do if it's a series and it's weekly, I'll do 1, 2, maybe 3 videos on it. But
No, this is worth doing because it's an autopsy.
yeah.
It's an autopsy of how a once great franchise finally hit rock bottom. Well, if there's a rock bottom, the Acolyte is it. It's the rock bottom of what was once a great, beloved franchise for generations. I mean, seriously. So It's kind of sad. It's bittersweet for sure.
There's one more super chat. You
Alrighty.
guys keep sneaking them in. Exalted Patriot
Thank
for
you.
$4.99. Did they imply in Acolyte that Osha and Smilo failed the Jedi trials?
I
Not really.
no, because
They were
Smilo said he was Jedi. Well, okay. Technically, correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, you're considered Jedi even if you're a Padawan. Now, you're not a Jedi master, but you're part of the Jedi, right? You're a Jedi trainee. So I don't know if what reference they're saying that, right? But it sounds to me like Smilo used to be a Jedi and that Osha flamed out while she was a Padawan. But she was still former Jedi, technically. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if the EU has fucking changed that or not. I don't know. But there you go. All right. We're going to wrap it up.
Everyone.
Take it easy, everyone. Hey, thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. Thanks to everyone who participated. Thanks to the lurkers. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly.
Not me.
Not you, not Chris. You better not be fucking drinking.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.